That is just the worst.
I'm gonna have to send that to you.
Oh God! By the way, we are live. If you could change the little whatever that stuff, notification stuff. You know what I'm talking about? I don't even know what to call it.
Did that.
Thank you, sweetie. All right. I'm just gonna give it a minute. Yeah. I wish I could see your shirt better. Stand up real quick. Let me. That's dope. Did you get that at PAX?
Oh, it says Chocobo Foods Inc. No, I did not. I think I got it on Redbubble.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. It was either Redbubble or I got it on Etsy or something.
Etsy or something. Okay. Oh, there's that.
It's still a dope shirt, man. I was very glad to get it.
All right.
Final Fantasy 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my gosh. What a madman, that guy.
You ready? That's actually the next line. Are you ready?
And then for what's to come? Are you ready for what's to come? Is that's what you said it was?
It's for what's to come. Yes, that's right.
Wow. Hey, wandering.
It's wandering.
It's a wander around. Hey, wandering. How are the audios? How's the?
Wandering shrink.
That's Steven. That's Steven's voice. This is my voice. This is my time. Emery, you're acquired in Ryan. Does that mean I need to go down and he go up?
That means I know it.
He needs to go up? Okay. Let me bump him up. Where are you? There you are. Desktop audio. And I'm gonna maybe... blah, 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 blah. How's that, Amelia, with us? Say words, Steven. Say real words.
Hi. Hey. Okay, better. We're there better. With better.
I'll take better. And the game audio is good? I sure hope it is. We're gonna chat a little, buddy, at the before we get started. As much as I really want to jump into this, very much so. Let me get here.
Is that what we're doing? I told me that there was gonna be pizza.
Well, I have pizza. Yeah, I didn't lie. I have pizza.
You have pizza. Okay.
Right.
Just weren't intended on giving me any pizza.
I just don't want you to watch me eat it because I'm embarrassed if people see me eat. You know that. Gosh.
Oh, I don't.
Jeez Louise. Okay. I don't know what there is that I'd be embarrassed someone watching me do. I'm sure there's some stuff.
Hard to you are hard to embarrass. That is for sure.
There's something. There's something out there.
There's got to be something.
Like, but I mean, like truly embarrassed. Not like, oh no, but like, I'm embarrassed.
Oh gosh, I was caught on camera. How silly of me.
Right, like. Yeah, I don't know. But there are definitely stuff.
I don't know what to tell you.
You're like, sorry, Ryan. I can't answer this question for you, Ryan. I'm sorry.
It's like, do you want me to go in detail? Sure. You remember that one? No, just kidding.
Right. Kidding. Well, so why don't we do this? So we'll kind of treat it. We'll wait for a few people to come in, but we'll go ahead and start it up. Oh, hold on. I gotta add the chat box above you. Totally forgot to do that. Chat box. Over your head. And so I guess this is good because now I can do this. Let's see. Are you ready? Oh God. Damn it, Steven.
Yeah, I can read the comments.
What's that?
I can read the comments.
Yeah,
that's what you're
for
worried about.
the for when it goes on YouTube, so that it's relevant to people to see what we were responding to.
Other people can read it, you selfish jerk.
Let's see. All right. I messed with my camera a bit, wandering. Scottman actually helped me out with the sharpness.
Scottman.
Which was very, very helpful. He just stayed online with me one night as I was just having mind-numbing infuriations with It's my life these days, man. It's my life now.
Yeah, understood.
Scottman, hello, by the way.
I like the overlay that you have with the Final Fantasy book and how it's a little opacity of it.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is I got that and I just on a whim was like, maybe 62 opacity. I don't really care. It took like 30 seconds. No, it took like 40 minutes for that one fucking book. Because I can't make up my mind. Steven, I was going between 57 and 62, and I took a screenshot so I could compare them in real time.
I'm really surprised that you didn't message me at like 3 o'clock in the fucking morning to be like, hey, say which one do you think is better?
It takes all of me not to text you of those things because I know it's ridiculous. But so I know I have to just sit here and I say, okay, I can't call Steven because that's an absurd thing to ask somebody. Number one. And then I say, so I'm left with 2 options. I can either use the psychological skills I teach people all week to try to overcome this perseveration, or I'll indulge it and keep acting on it. And I choose the latter. You know.
This will be like Melissa coming up to me. He's like, what do you want to do? Hold on, I'm going to take this call. 57 to 62, are you fucking kidding me? This is what you're calling me about? It's emergency, Steven!
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, cool. Hey, thanks for that, that chatbot there, Wandering, with the book. That's great. That's fantastic.
Oh, wow, that is cool, yeah.
Scottman says, thanks, Wandering, for taking more of my money! Oh, man.
That's what we do this for. It's money. That's why we always do these publications.
Sure.
Because if you don't know,
yeah,
especially if you're a chapter author, you make a lot of money. Like a lot of money. No, I'm kidding. We don't.
Yeah,
most times you don't make any money writing chapters.
I'm probably at like a 30,000 deficit like con and GLU stuff in the last year and a half. So that's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's totally worth it. Totally worth it. It's fine. It's worth it.
Yeah.
That's right. For all his book publishing, that's how Ryan could afford his computer.
Right. That delicious $2,500 check for all of my books at the end of the year. It's a massive amount of money.
Your accountant during tax season is like, are you kidding me right now?
I want to claim it. Well, there's a thing for both. If you're hiring a nanny or have a shitty book, you don't have to actually claim it. I want you to claim it. You want to claim $500? I sure do.
Excusez-moi.
Yeah, that's funny. No, academic writing is literally zero money.
I think that's very, very important.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll start with we've got a great crew right now, and we can go to start. So I'll say welcome. So this is our first episode of Psychology of Final Fantasy, a book that we had written, edited by Dr. Anthony Bean. And I have Dr. Emery Stephen. Smells like tree corpses.
This is your real perk for publishing. Is you get the book.
Right. But I'm here with Dr. Emery Stephen Daniels, or Daniel, not plural. Only his mother and me can call him Stephen, if I remember correctly.
Apparently everybody at my job.
Is that right? He works with his mom, which is something that he's very proud of. And me, right?
I walked right into that one, so thank you.
Why don't you introduce yourself, good sir?
So yeah, my name is Dr. Emery Stephen Daniel. I'm an assistant professor at Appalachian State University in Boone, North Carolina. I teach mostly advertising courses, but at the same time, I do a lot of video game research, a lot of streaming research. Main topic that I usually focus on is something called Parasocial Relationships, which we'll get into what those are within this stream. But at the same time, it is something that really goes along with a lot of video games and a lot of video game characters. So it's something that I enjoy tremendously, and it's kind of this weird fit of being to come into Geeks Like Us and all these PAX conventions and so forth, and weirdly in my little social psych bubble, because I'm not a therapist amongst all the therapists, it's worked and it's gelled with all these social psych theories. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. Again, I'll talk more about what I do in this particular book and why we're playing Final Fantasy X in that respect.
Awesome. And so I'm Dr. Ryan Kelly. I'm a co-founder of Geeks Like Us. I am also one of the authors of this book, and I'm just really excited to have you here. I mean, this is going to be really awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I've been looking for this a long time. I've been waiting to play this game for today because I wanted, but it took all of me to not play Final Fantasy X.
It did. Trust me on this. He called me and said, "Steven, I really want to play Final." It's like you're having some withdrawal.
Steven, just bear with me. Bear with me. I know it's 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. Why don't we stream now? Pick up that Eastern viewership. Let's just play now. Ryan, go to bed. Okay.
Fine.
Fine. All right. Well, I'm super stoked. Now, Steven, why? What? Okay, so what is your favorite Final Fantasy game?
Gosh, I feel like it fluctuates so much. At the same time, I'm torn between Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy VIII. I love so many of them. At the same time, 10 was the one that I really got invested in, and 8 was the ones that was like my nostalgia one, everybody's got that Final Fantasy they're just like super attached to when it comes to they played when they were younger. And aside from the crappy junctioning system, but at the same time, I really enjoyed that one. I loved the love story that went along with it, and it really got into what my fascination for JRPGs in general. And don't hate, you've only played the Final Fantasy 7 and 7 remake. 7 and 7 remake awesome, are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
A lot of people shit all over the Final Fantasy 7 remake, and they shouldn't, because it's great.
Hey, so question, this is an important one. I already chose standard grid for the spheres, but I can choose between a ranged soundtrack, which is, like the Square Enix Orchestra stuff, or original. You think you want to go ranged?
Let's do a range.
Let's do a range. I was thinking nostalgia, but then I heard this. It was like, oh my god, this is
they had that option. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, dude, this is dope.
Pick that game back up.
Oh, whoops! I gotta get rid of this. Boop. Play the arranged soundtrack. Absolutely. Bum 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 bum. And for those in there, as far as the audio, is it sounding okay with the game music and our voices? Because I want you to be able to hear Dr. Daniel at the same time. The music in all these games is so incredibly important.
Maris, don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed 13 as well. I didn't like it as some of the other ones, but it was still. That's one of the things about it. It's like, even like with The Legend of Zelda, even the games that I don't like as much, I still really like.
Yeah. There's Titus or Titus or Tidu or Tidus
or Terrapin.
Terrapin or Turd Piss.
Or Tijuana.
It's okay, Yuna.
This has been a 2-year long discussion about the pronunciation of this guy's damn name.
Oh, his name is Titus. it's a belief, which we're going to be talking about today. You form a belief about his name, and you blindly adhere to it. And if any sort of social judgment,
social judgment theory wouldn't really work in this capacity. It really would. Oh my gosh. Titus.
Wait. This I have to watch this, right? Because or maybe I can skip by it. I guess I'll skip by it. Okay. Here we go. I think I skipped by it.
Listen to my story.
All right, cool.
Titus staring out at Anakin.
Maybe our last chance.
I really like the voice actor. The voice actor in this I really like. He to tell my story. Final Fantasy. All right.
Hey, my dad.
My dad had a lot of abs. Most people have 8, some 10, some 12. He had 38 abs. Looked like a belly of a caterpillar, or of a centipede. Except he only had 2 hands, both of which were abusive. Let's see, I made myself sad. Let's see. So, all right, so Steven.
I always find it ironic. Oh, go ahead, please.
No, I want to hear what's ironic.
The fact that you always talk about Xanarkin, and it's like one of the cities that's like, we don't believe in Machina. Then should destroy all Machina, and yet Xanarkin is filled with Machina.
It has a lot of it. Yeah, because technically Xanarkin is supposed to be like Magic Town, and Bavel is supposed to be like Machina Town, right?
It's Magic Town.
Magic. Hey guys, I know you want me to.
This stream.
You got it, girl.
Of course.
You autograph my blitzball?
So I'll be honest. Usually I just go with the name that it gives me, but I'm gonna go ahead and just.
Oh yes.
Well, I guess it should be family friendly. So I'll just do. Is there hyphens? No. Yes, there is. Ty. Just so that there's no debate. Titus. Titus. Who dis? Who there? Titus. And then these are bottom case because why not?
Unbelievable. You are incorrigible.
Hi, I'm Titus. Confirm. You bet your bottom dollar I'm confirming.
Good luck tonight.
Take that.
Thank you so much. So Steven, what is your chapter on in the book? What is the title?
I'll do this.
So, my chapter of the book is about what we agreed on was drinking the magic cup. And it was talking about the parasocial relationships and cognitive dissonance within Final Fantasy X. So I looked at the rest of the chapters and I'm like, wow, mine is really a mouthful in comparison to everybody else's.
Yeah, it's a pretty, but it's a good one. It's not like an unnecessarily long title.
Take it easy.
And
I mean, and it gets but it is academic writing of like, here's the fun part, and then all of a sudden, here's the colon title with all the serious stuff.
2, 3.
Oh, Tocho, you're wrong.
Oh.
Not in this game. It's not.
Hey, I got a game to play.
Hey, Tocho.
Ryan has vetoed that.
No,
by
this is
actually
Titus.
Changing his name.
This
So it's Titus.
Yeah, it's TIE hyphen. It's a hyphenated name. DI lowercase ss. Okay, I just want to clarify that.
So this is Ryan vetoed all of that.
Yes.
Then be with you.
Yevon be with you. Oh, it's Daddy Abs. It's Daddy Abs on the wall.
Daddy abs a lot.
Daddy Abs a lot. So Steven, why Final Fantasy X for your chapter? You focus pretty much exclusively on it, don't you?
Yeah, I've been getting kind of a reputation within my book chapters of two different things. One, that all my chapters have to deal with death. to the point where I had a little crocheted thing in my office that was a Grim Reaper. There's that. So I was like the Doctor of Death for a while because my Zelda book chapter was about Majora's Mask and the 5 stages of grief. So, yeah, there was that. And so then Dr. Anthony Bean contacted me after we did really well with the Legend of Zelda, Psych of Legend of Zelda. He said, hey, I want you to do a book chapter on religion within Final Fantasy. I about laughed him off the phone conversation because I'm like, dude, that's every game. Like, there are barely any instances where there's not religion involved in killing God with the power of friendship in a Final Fantasy game. That's like JRPG staples, you know? Anyway, so he was talking about, a lot about parasocial relationships, which are one-way relationships between an individual viewing another person. But it's only interaction in one direction, that being from the viewer to the other person. And he said, could you consider doing that with a deity like God or something with a cult? And I had to sit back and think about it. I was like, yes, actually, that would be a great definition of it. And so I talked with a bunch of my other PSR scholars about it, and I said, does this make sense? And they were like, yes, this is quintessential definition, and not a lot of people have done this on religion. So I wanted to look into Final Fantasy X because it's one of the few games in my mind of Final Fantasy where the cult, because that's what Yevon is, it's a cult, so well supported around the area of Spira. Everybody is on board with it for the most part because they just don't want Sin, which we're seeing now RN cheersing the big whale monster Sin, and that was the that's kind of what brought me into wanting to do this chapter was I wanted to talk about parasocial relationships. Yeah. Wanted to talk about it in the lens of religion. Final Fantasy X just did it so well that we could talk about Seymour and Genova from Final Fantasy VII, but I was like, it's not as well supported as the entire religion of Final Fantasy X. And so that's when I talked to Dr. Bean about it, and I said, can I just write about Final Fantasy X? I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And so I just went on a complete rampage of writing notes while I was playing through Final Fantasy before PAX East.
That's awesome, dude. Well, you chose my favorite Final Fantasy. I think I can pretty confidently say it. Hello, Jade.
Jade.
And I don't think I said hello to you, Maros.
I think it's Maros, if memory serves
correctly. Gotcha. All right.
More than one game where I realized it wasn't over because I hadn't killed God. That's actually Persona 4. Persona 4, I thought it was not over because I hadn't killed God yet.
Now, Steven, what is happening right now?
Oh, right now, this is the destruction of Xanarkand. One of the things that they talk a lot about is this whale monster that's called Sin. It's important to remember that Sin is neither good nor evil. In fact, there's a very specific line that talks about that. But it has one mission, is to basically decimate any place that has Machina. Because the person who created Sin, well, we don't know that yet, technically.
That's okay.
This game is 19 years old, so...
Yeah, there's going to be spoilers. It's right, yeah.
There's going to be spoilers. But Yevon creates Sin through his summoners and himself and his guardians. He sacrifices a bunch of people. He sacrifices the city that he loves of Xanarkand to create Sin. Sin starts destroying all places with Machina. But what they didn't realize was a lot of Machina going on in Xanarkand. So one of the first things that Sin does is destroy Xanarkand. At the same time, this is very much a game about a civil war. It's a game very much about religion versus the progression of technology. It is one of the reasons why I like it so much is this idea of how much can we advance versus how much influence does religion have over the people in this particular game.
Hey, wait.
So sin is coming for y'all. And,
He's coming, man.
Not this way.
It's making some destruction. But yes, my Sriracha Chocobo shirt, my favorite Final Fantasy shirt.
It's an awesome shirt. What's up, Moot?
Yeah,
Man.
now we've got Titus now.
Yeah, Titus.
We're
Titus.
Titus. This not. Because Ryan has made it canon, so now we can't even argue it.
It's canon now. Yeah.
It's canon. But now we've got good friend Aaron. I mean, you can just tell, like, right from the get-go, he's like, this guy's seen some shit.
Yeah. He's had a tough go. Life's not been kind to him. Right. Life has not been kind to
Flash
him.
across his eye, a jug, which I cannot think that he cleans often.
No, that man is not worried about bacteria at all. Very little to worry about. By the way, for people watching, let me know if you cannot hear the voices in this game. I'm trying to find that sweet spot because I do love the voice acting in this, so I'd love for you guys to be able to hear the voice acting. I forgot about that first sword. That's right.
It's a sword from your dad. Don't say he didn't give you nothing. Hey, my dad!
He gave me a sword and a complex. Titus.
Ones don't matter. We cut through.
Getting the
In-game voices are a bit low.
Vibes. Daddy gave me a sword, and then he walked away.
Yeah. He gave me a sword, then he walked away. Let me try that.
Let's see, in-game voices
Hopefully
are a bit
that'll
low.
Yeah, I bumped it up a bit.
Okay.
Let's see if that might be a little better. Have a good laugh at the voice
My
acting.
D&D DM? No. Not really.
Bam.
I like playing D&D, but I don't DM. That I don't want to.
Overkill. Hack and slash my way through this. Oh no, more. I just saw Starship Troopers.
Take down the Mancers.
Yeah. This reminds me of Starship Troopers. I watched it 2 days ago.
Cut the ones that matter and run.
Cut the ones that matter and run. I'm gonna raise the game volume a little bit for the people here. All right. I'll just focus on the ones that matter. I love that he's like, hey Oren, I made this sleeve, this jacket for you, 2 sleeves, just as you thought. 2 sleeves? Oh, no. I'm a 1 sleeve guy. Like, what? I only wear 1 sleeve. Cut it off. Why would you want us to cut? Fine, I'll just take my arm out of it. Okay.
It was custom made for you.
Oh, God. Do I look like a 2 sleeve?
I don't know what a 1 sleeve person looks like. No.
Hey
here, baby.
I hold my arm out in front of me without a sleeve like I'm a modern day Napoleon. I don't understand why that's so hard for you to get.
I rest my case.
I rest my case.
First Final Fantasy. Wait, so my Phoenix down. Oh no!
I want to come to your house, just marathon play all the fighting. Oh man.
Because unlike
that'd be
Final
amazing.
Fantasy VII, the remake, there is no difficulty
can't
7
wait to die.
adding on this.
Overdrives. Oh, I remember overdrives, baby girl. Oh, I gotta move my beer, apparently. Put it over here. It's in the way.
That cost a turn. Half a turn.
Oh. How do I go to my overdrive? Well, maybe I don't know. Do I have to push a special button for my overdrive? Okay.
I feel like you're WoW with all these overlays. Not wrong.
Jesus. Okay, help me out, Steven. I should be waiting for them to attack, right? Or is there a button I should be able to push?
Can't you scroll over left or right?
Oh, that's what he said.
Your
Thank you, Tocho. Yeah. Thank you, Steven.
No.
There we go. Ah!
With Bushido, the Bushido code.
Oh God! Oh no! Wow, I didn't
Quick
take
time events.
I am an alcoholic, so Oren's not going to be doing it super well. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be.
Spoiler alert. Ryan's not going to get the Jack shot.
Right. Oren drinks a large amount. He has a never-ending barrel of alcohol that he keeps drinking. He's so drunk he can't even put his left arm into his jacket. Let's see. All right.
Hey, listen, that's actually a really good question. How do you feel from Final Fantasy moving away from the turn-based combat? I've got mixed opinions, but I was really hesitant when I got into Final Fantasy 15 and the 7 remake, but I've really enjoyed them, and I thought they've been a lot of fun. There you go. There you go, Ryan.
There's. I was very upset that they went away from the turn-based system. I still love the turn-based system. There's actually a new Final Fantasy, relatively new Final Fantasy game, World of Final Fantasy, which goes back to that. After this, I didn't play Final Fantasy 11, but I pre-ordered Final Fantasy 12. I got, all of the pre-order stuff, and I was. And then I got the game, and I was really upset that it didn't have the turn-based system because I had it. So I wish they provided the option to have
Thanks
one
for
of
the
the
follow,
other.
RPG chick.
Hey, thank you. Turn-based suits my indecisiveness.
No,
Thank you, because you get the perfect decision. That's exactly right. I believe that's Rachel. That's exactly right. Because you.
And I will say this about Final Fantasy X: they do things really well in two different ways. One is it actually lets you make that decision-making process where, sometimes in Final Fantasy VII I was making decisions really quickly on the fly. But the other thing is what I call on-the-fly switching your party. I just call them on-the-flies. And I always kind of named it after like hockey because you can jump off the bench. Sometimes in a lot of JRPGs in general, you have like, here is your set party. And if you don't have the right element for whatever boss you're faced, you're screwed.
Oh, shit. Did I just heal the... Ah!
Heal the
the boss? I'm so drunk. He is so drunk.
Thank you.
Oren.
Thank you, Oren.
Get help, man. It's not me. Because it's not me. I'll tell you that right now.
Confused.
He is so confused about things. All right.
The other thing is that you could change party members within your fight, which I really, really liked.
Yeah.
Hey, Necro, no, I don't believe this is multiplayer.
No. Oh, that'd be so dope
cool
if it was. Yeah.
Though everybody would look at each other like, why did you cast?
Yeah. Good point to the
bathroom.
Kira,
attack.
Right. So now, Steven, are we in real Xanarkand or are we in Dream Xanarkand right now?
I believe if I can't remember if this is the 1,000 year, or I think this is the 100 year. So if it's the 100 year per the timeline, this would be Dream Xanarkand because Xanarkand was destroyed 1,000 years ago. Tidus comes into, or Tidus, excuse me,
yes,
comes into the story. Okay, Tocho, yeah. He comes into the story 100 years before he meets everybody. So this is 100 years before the next thing happens.
Now I thought Tidus was never. As I punctuate that real well. I thought he was never real. I thought he was always Dream Xanarkand.
No, I mean Xanarkand was a real place.
No, but I thought Tidus was never real. I thought he was.
Tidus is never real. Yeah.
So anytime he's there, it's probably Dream Xanarkand, or is that not true?
Give me a break, man.
Well, he comes in the very end of the game where he actually sees Xanarkand for what it is in reality, and it's just a disheveled mess.
Right.
Which makes it all the weirder when, like, I would say, like, in probably half an hour, we'll get to this conversation of everybody's really confused when you come up and say, hey, by the way, I'm from Xanarkand, and they're like, wait, what? Oh, is that possible?
The ship, go away, untapped. Okay. Oh my god, all these notifications that are popping up. There we go. For God's sakes. Okay. It's impossible for the sin spawn to kill you. Is that because it keeps using Demi and it's only going to have you forever? I couldn't remember if it had another move or not.
Half an HP.
Yeah.
One
Half
quarter
an
of an HP. 1/8 of an HP.
Right. I gotta put this over here. That's cool. So, okay, yeah. That's thank you for letting me know that. So, Steven, your chapter has a lot to do with belief. And would you say that's the in a nutshell? Would you say beliefs, true or false, are the main topic of your chapter?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about beliefs, and especially as they exist in Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, so we get into a lot, especially as communication scholars and social psychologists, about the idea of what are attitudes, opinions, and beliefs. And beliefs are extremely strong. They carry a lot of weight in terms of your decision making. It's incredibly difficult to get rid of one of them. So like an attitude you can change pretty quickly. The belief is something that is there for a very, very long period of time, and it takes a significant amount of evidence to get rid of it, or to put it in a different direction. We talked about this in one of my grad classes. It was like, what was a belief that you had that you eventually had to change? And I was like, the only one that I thought, like, I was convinced that this was real until it wasn't, was my belief in Santa Claus. But this is a belief that you hold so strongly until it's not real.
Right.
Alert. But
Rachel,
with Final Fantasy X,
Santa's real.
Rachel, cover your ears. It's already over.
He's the best, and he loves you. And you're getting gifts this year because you've been great.
Nothing is ever going to hold him down.
Everything is good always.
But with Final Fantasy X, Yevon is the religion in Final Fantasy X. It is immediately apparent when you stumble upon the island of Besaid, which we'll see probably about 30 minutes to 15 to 30 minutes from now. It is immediately apparent that Yevon is the religion that fuels everything in Spira. So people have this strong ideology for what Yevon is and what Yevon stands for. So the main premise, and there are a few of them, but the main premise for Yevon in this case is no machina. Machina is anything that is machine related. The reason they believe that is they're like, hey, there's this giant whale monster that, much like Santa Claus, sees you when you're sleeping and sees you when you're awake, and knows if you have machina, so get rid of it for goodness sake.
That's fair.
So that's what we know. Sin equals Santa Claus. It's canon. Anyway, so Sin comes along, and it destroys anything in its path. And if you are not sent, you become a monster. So we're trying to avoid that. We're trying to get our property not destroyed by Sin. So one of the things that they try to do is they try to create a summoner to basically do the same practices that Yevon was the founder of this religion, and summoning what's called the Final Aeon. She summoned the Final Aeon. Presumably, Sin is destroyed for about 10 years. And then shit's all good for those 10 years. And for the people of Spira, it's worth it. It's worth it to do this. What it means is somebody's going to get sacrificed to Sin in order to save. So it's very much the trolley lemma. Do you save one person? No, it's not a trolley example. It's the one, do you save one person or do you save everybody?
Cool.
But but again, they're very much ingrained in this belief. And anybody that doesn't believe in this or uses Machina, they're automatically outcast. So we're about to, like literally right now, about to meet Riku, and not quite yet. Sorry, we're about to meet Riku, and Riku is she is part of a race in this game called the Albed. It's pretty established quickly that Albed use Machina, and that everybody in Spira can't stand the Albed because of those beliefs.
Hang on, we're about to meet the only person drunker than Orin. You ready? Here we go.
Look at my abs, dude. Titus. Look at my abs.
I do shots and I do crunches. That's it. God, you are the worst. I know.
We were talking earlier today. We were making Jack sound like Indy Savage. I'm gonna crush you. I'm gonna take the guano.
Anyone beside me.
That shot the ball right into the net, and they're not gonna stand a chance. Checked to your town. Yeah.
I'm gonna take your face and rub it over my stomach like a mallet on a xylophone. Ding, 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 ding.
It's gonna be like a washboard.
What a madman.
People wonder why my voice is such crap.
Is it going to be a reoccurring stream? So the Psychology of Final Fantasy series will be recurring. And actually, I do think that I am going to keep playing Final Fantasy X and stream it, but it'll be kind of random. Because this is my favorite, and I just personally want to play through this. But I know with some of the other chapters and the other authors, we're going to be doing like Final Fantasy VI. I got you, Rachel. World of Final Fantasy, the new one, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy Remake. I think there might be someone in Japan who wants to do Final Fantasy IX, I want to say.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which that's going to be... that's going to be... Let me reframe it. I'm looking forward to scheduling that. I'm looking forward to scheduling a time with that works.
Stream will take place at 6 o'clock.
Oh, it really will.
Maybe.
It really, yeah.
Morning.
Now
whichever.
By the way,
backseat.
Backseat gaming totally allowed. I'm not going to be full-on walkthrough in this thing. But if you know, like, oh, Ryan, actually, I do think I remember one that I really want to get. If you're like, Ryan, there's a really good item that you need, do not hesitate to let me know. I do think there is a good one over here, actually, now that
Ryan, within this stream, are you going to be dodging lightning 200 times in a row?
Yes. That'll be its own 5-hour stream.
Here for a while.
Right.
And to that point, though, I'd really like to consider doing Fantasy X specifically for my stream. For Lore Jour. I know a couple of the lore heathens have talked about that.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. I love
you
this
know what?
game.
But actually, Tocho reached out to me and he was like, "I don't really want to be involved with that." And I was like, "Really?" I said, "Tocho, you don't want to be involved?" And he was like, "Nah." Just like I like the Steven, but I just can't handle Final Fantasy VII. So I guess I'll step in.
He told me he really doesn't like Final Fantasy X. It's like his least favorite of the Final Fantasies. So.
Right.
I mean, I understand. I get it. And
yeah. I said, do you like? I said,
having you as a co-host. I want you to play a game that you don't want to play. You know.
He said to me, he goes, "Final Fantasy X, more like Final Fantasy exit off my list of interests." I was like, "Damn. All right. Well, sorry, bro."
Richard hasn't commented because he's broken his computer. In a rage right now.
Right. See the. Oh, that's hilarious. Alright, got that one. I saved, didn't I? Pretty sure I did. Alright.
Yeah, since you already killed Aaron.
That's right. I'm really gonna have to really try my damnedest not to want to get every single item there is. So there's gonna be areas that look very Easter eggy.
Go through the Dark Souls route.
Uh-huh. It's gonna be very. There might be some Easter eggs.
On the shinies. Potion.
Oh, here we go. I recognize that statue.
What has happened?
I'm in the water and I wasn't a moment
Did
ago!
this happen to me? I made my mistake.
Is that Hoobastank you're singing?
Simple Plan, I think.
So, what one was I thinking of? I was thinking of a...
I found a reason for me.
Oh, God, that's right. Change it
Easy
what
is
used to be.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
A
Look how uncomfortable.
reason to start over new. And then it goes to a little boy voice. And the reason is you. I love the underwater nature of this. I also know a quick way to get a 1 MP rod for Yuna if you're gonna beef her up, because of course you are. Yeah, tell me any. Yeah, and we started. Tell me any backseat gaming that you'd care to. Bum bum bum. Bum bum. Overkill. Here we go. So, along with beliefs, I guess you could argue that in this there are two primary beliefs. There's a belief in Machina, and there's a belief in, I guess, I don't know if it would be Unaleska or magic, right? Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, here we go. You had spoken earlier that it's basically like a civil war going on, but as this story goes, you had pointed out that by introducing Titus to, I always want to say calamari, Kimaru. How do you pronounce his name? I always want to say calamari. It's like
the Ronza, the blue lion
but
guy.
like with
Kimari.
Lulu and Kamari and Yuna and to some extent Waka, they're all, if I recall, they all believe in Yevon, in the Church of Yevon and the beliefs of Yevon. And of course Titus gets involved and Riku gets involved and Orin gets involved, and it throws it through the mix because they're like, they're like agnostic to atheist relative to Yevon coming. Go ahead. Is that wrong?
It's no. You're absolutely right on this. It is interesting because when the game starts, it's a civil war. In its history, it's Zanarkand versus Bavel. Bavel has the Machina, Zanarkand has the Mage. So Bavel's beginning to win the war, but then Yevon creates sin by sacrificing himself and created a dream Zanarkand to preserve it forever. He just completely annihilates Zanarkand. In the same capacity, Unaleska, who is Yevon's daughter, is just like, hold on, everybody. I'm gonna teach you how to calm this thing. Initially, in trying to get to the point, I know this is a little roundabout. Initially, it is very much Machina versus magic.
Magic.
I can't not say it that way. At the same time, what eventually happens is it's almost like it's less this Zanarkand Bavel or what's the right way to destroy sin. It's kind of what it becomes. And people of Spira still believe in Yevon through the preachings of Lady Unaleska, and the teachings of Yevon.
I had made it out of the frying pan and into the freezer.
It's very much an ostracizing culture
I
comes
thought I
along
was gonna
because
die in
when
this
you
place.
arrive on Besaid and meet with Waka for the first time, Waka is kind of portrayed as this Pacific Islander, very religious, and I mean, he's coming in there and it's like, "Hey, you all right, man?" And you're going, "Yeah, I was just washed up to shore." He goes, "Hey, are you in Al Bed?" Like, no. All right.
All right, my man, because if you were, I would have thrown you back in the water. Like, man.
Yeah, Waka's a racist.
Yeah, he is.
Any ifs, ands, or buts about it. But it is something that with
Voiced by
Waka
Bender.
and yeah, that's true. That's a fun fact. I like that. But you start to see that you have the main people that are supporting Yuna in her journey to be a summoner, and that is, as you said, it's Lulu, it's Waka, and it's Kimari to start off with. Some of them are more preachy than others about Yevon. Kimari talks so little; he's almost doing it by obligation. From Yuna's father. Yuna's father said, make sure to protect my daughter, and he's like, on it. And he does, and that's his role. And he's so no nonsense. Where you're like, hey, how's it going, Kimari? You doing all right? High five. He's like, get the hell out of my way. He doesn't want any of your crap. You get these people who become dissenters. So this actually gets into a lot of what's called group communication theories. And go against groupthink. So groupthink is this invincibility of a group. The group thinks as a unit, which in ways can be really good. But if you don't have a dissenting opinion, decisions can be made hastily, and that's kind of what's going on here. Whereas Riku, who comes in, is very adamant. She's an Al-Bhed. She doesn't believe in the summoning process. She has these different ideologies, although she really doesn't flesh them out. She has these different ideologies about how sin could be destroyed. She is very much think for yourself. Don't just assume that this religion is going to be the end-all, be-all thing that's going to solve this problem. You really have to. There's got to be another way than killing Yuna and sacrificing her. It doesn't make any sense that way. She's pretty adamant about it. Then you have Titus, T-Dog. He kind of works as this dissenter, but at the same time, he's the character you kind of love and hate at the same time because he's really whiny. But he does speak a lot of good ideas based off of tradition, and going against tradition. And I think Titus is a relatively smart fellow, but he also says a lot of really stupid crap.
True.
Like when I was going through my playthrough, I was messaging everybody who wrote in this book. I was just saying, hey, this is the dumb thing that Titus said for today.
What do you want?
I remember that. I enjoyed
there's
it.
that.
It was a bad
One of them
call.
is coming up really soon.
Your team
But the other
lost because
thing
of you.
is Aran,
You came to say
who
that.
was a guardian of a summoner, and the guardian kind of works as a bouncer to protect summoners in case any Al-Bhed wants to kidnap the summoner,
I thought it would
and
be
according to the people of Spirit, do God knows
Me?
what to them. He's like 16, so accurate. Yeah, he's a little bit of an angsty boy.
I love, by the way, this little kid who just shows up every once in a while. Like, you're a crybaby. I didn't. Like Bales. You're a little.
Here comes the faith, y'all.
Right. I'm a little dreamer. I'm a little dreamer child.
Dream a little dream of me.
I'm a little dream of me.
Hey, wait. Don't go out
But
on me.
Aran gets into some of the weirder parts of this game.
Just hold on. I'll get more wood.
Aran's already done this trip. He's already gone through the whole summoning and guardian relationship and trying to summon a final Aeon. And he's done. He is hardened. I mean, we've said this before. He has seen some shit. So, he's also no nonsense. But the weird thing is he very much has this mentality of let them figure it out for themselves. And it's one of the reasons why I like Aran so much is he could come in like a time traveler would, coming back in time and like, no, don't do this. This is a really bad idea. He doesn't do that at all. He knows what's going to happen in this process. He knows the horrific thing that's going to occur to Yuna later on in the game. And it's like, it's going to be her job to figure that out, though.
Now you had mentioned. Keep going.
No. That's pretty much what I was gonna say.
Well, you had mentioned something in your chapter, and it's I can't remember if you were quoting Festinger, but a lot of people have said it in varying ways that beliefs can be dangerous, and I think we see it in these games, we see it in real life. I mean, especially now with such a highly dichotomized belief system in the world and in our country. In what way are beliefs in this game and in real world dangerous? How can they be dangerous?
It's what so I get a lot of this when I talk about beliefs. And Fessinger, when he first wrote his chapter, his idea was, I'm gonna go talk to cults because cults believe that there's going to be the end of the world. He's like, that's ridiculous. I want to see what happens when it doesn't happen. When the end of the world doesn't happen, how do they respond? That's kind of the basis of cognitive dissonance, according to Leon Fessinger. And so that was his research. He followed around a cult that thought that there were going to be aliens that were going to take them up in a UFO. They would disappear this world and the Earth would be flooded. And obviously that didn't happen. But he also talks about the Christian rapture, that this is going to occur, and it didn't, like people prophesizing this. So this is the Al-Bed, by the way, with their Machina. But so a lot of people, when it comes to these belief systems, they hold them so strongly with the words that are preached, even though they don't really, in a lot of cases, they really don't know the people that they're trying to worship. So this happens a lot within religion and cults.
Cool.
And where it gets dangerous is in you're basically being told to enact in hurting people or hurting yourself, which is very much what happens with the practice of Yevon. Because as you find out through this game, the cognitive dissonance sets in is, one, you don't know Yevon. Just don't. You've never met Yevon. You have no idea who this person is. You can only go by the scripture that was written about Yevon or Lady Unileski. Never met these people. So you don't know what they're going to say. You can only talk to the preachers that really communicate Yevon. The other thing is that there's a real, this is what I love about Final Fantasy X in particular, is that there's a great irony that comes in with this game. And ultimately what it is thing that they're trying to do, which is bring in a summoner, have her or him or whoever sacrifice themselves to Sin, destroy Sin, and bring the calm for 10 years. Well, the problem is when they give Sin the final Aeon, the summoner, ultimately is what is the thing that keeps bringing it back.
That was close.
The religion is actually proactively, albeit covertly, destroying all of Spira. So
it's bad news bears. That's bad news bears right there.
Bad news bears indeed. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Dark turn indeed for this game. It is Riku. They're basically like, I don't know if y'all know this. There might be another way of doing this. There might be a way that we don't have to kill Luna or any of the Guardians to be able to achieve this. So, yeah. Why don't we do something different? And group at the beginning of the game, you're not having it. You're basically like, get out of here, Al-Bed, you little stink-winker. Or get out of here, you person with experience. Or get out of here, Dream Titus. They don't know what you're talking about. And so, to the point of it's very much force of people becoming violent towards these Al-Bed, towards anybody that opposes. And so that's where kind of this idea of belief sets in Final Fantasy X, as well as the belief of people could be getting hurt and yet nobody's doing anything about it, or proactively trying to hurt it in this case, just because we have this foundation of it. And where that becomes a problem is is that your beliefs are so strong that nothing can sway it, except for a long period of time where cognitive dissonance takes over and you achieve what's called cognitive consonance, which is a mental balance. Things make sense.
I don't understand.
So that's the goal of this game in particular, is achieving cognitive consonance and understanding that the religion of Yevon is a cult, and it is hurting all of Spira, as well as the summoners, and there is another way, they just don't know about it yet.
Now, at the beginning of the game, Yuna and all them have cognitive consonance that Yevon is real. Their belief is firm.
Yep.
Orin has cognitive consonance that Yevon is dubious at best. Where is Titus? Or is he just a moron who doesn't think about stuff? I mean,
it's Titus and Riku don't know. They are challenging it because, I mean, think about this for a second. If you're not indoctrinated with this religion, if you're not really in tune with everything, when somebody says, there's no other way to bring calm to Spira other than sacrificing this lovely person that you met, and Yuna is a terrific human being. We see Yuna and we're like, oh, she's wonderful. And we're like, yeah, she's going to die here soon, so don't get too attached. And so, rightfully so, Titus and Riku are like, hey, we do this when we're not killing our friend? Is that a thing?
Almost forgot.
Not do that. Riku is pretty firm in her beliefs with it, although she doesn't have the same knowledge as Aaron does. Titus, on the other hand, just doesn't know. He's just seeing it from the eyes of, hey, this is my friend, and I imagine, hey, she's really cute, and very endearing, so I like her. So I want to make it so that she doesn't have to die. Because, I mean, Lulu at the beginning of the game says, hey, Titus, I see the way that you look at her. Don't get too attached there, buddy. He's got a job to do. But you're right, actually. Go ahead.
Is it fair to say that Titus believes in chocolate and sunshine? Yay!
Titus believes in one thing, and that is well, actually, two things.
Blitzball!
One is
dads.
That his Blitzball is fun, and he's good at it. And two, my dad is the worst.
Yeah, it's a very short pro-con list. Pros of Blitzball. Real fun. I almost drown every time. Pros and cons of my dad. He's real mean. He's got pretty good abs. I don't know.
He taught me Blitzball.
Right.
That was a good thing. But then he was also really horrible in his teaching of Blitzball.
I don't want to learn the ability cheer. Well, I guess he should learn the ability cheer, shouldn't he? Gonna make
How
me...
do you like leveling up system here?
I liked it. I liked it back then.
I did too.
I chose the standard this time around, just so I could focus more, because I already struggle to focus anyway, But I'm just gonna make him a hitter, man. He's gonna low defense. Low defense, high.
Get a glass cannon.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. Exactly right. Glass cannon. I've never heard that, but yeah, absolutely. My literature.
Jojo, to your point.
6-year-old self.
Illiterate.
Illiterate. My illiterate 6-year-old self couldn't. The irony there. Couldn't figure out how the sphere grid works, so I made it to ever with essentially level 1 characters. Wow. Well, there you go.
I didn't know what I was doing at first, and I can't remember what the sphere was that could make you jump to another one, like across the map.
Oh, yeah.
I realized that I needed something, it was like this ultimate magic spell, then I wanted Lulu to have it. And so I had to like jump over 16 sphere grids, get to it, in the wrong direction. And I'm like, I guess I was not doing this correctly.
Yeah, I remember by the end of this game when I first went through it, everyone was maxed out. Everyone had every skill. All I was doing was making monsters in the Calm Land. You could get a bunch of stuff and put them together to make these insane monsters, right? Just that like are insane.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. To the point where like Lulu putting down one of her little like like Moogles or something was like 99999 damage. You know, they just like little Moogle comes over and is like, F you! It's like 9,999. So it didn't matter what I did. The only thing that even changed at that point was like moves like Dimmy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But aside from that, every single move.
I remember one there. So there were two moves that I like really struggled with. One was one of Riku's like 99,999 hits that you could use on Jekt, and it was like one of the best ways to do it. But then also I was fighting Dark Bahamut.
Oh god, I want to get
like
out of
one
this.
of the hardest bosses in the game.
Hold on.
And
hold on. I gotta figure out how to skip this.
Concentrate.
How can I not skip this? Oh my god. There's really not a button to...
you got Al looped.
Oh my god.
The Legend of Zelda.
Oh my god, no. Oh no. Do they all say the same thing? All the guys? Oh, Tocho. You monster. You knew I would make such an error. What's your go-to team composition? Like in this game? And how many people? Like in these games, I like to have it be rounded, but I like to have all the characters, whatever they're doing, to have like amazing strengths and amazing weaknesses. So how would you see it's with the danger of belief, where you get really ingrained in it, as you've talked about, and you know you have this cognitive consonance, and then if it's challenged, you get this social judgment where you sort of push back, and I don't want to. You know, oh no! Ah, God! Crap! Well, I gotta slow the F down when I get to the end. That condescending music. And you know, so with like modern day and like in our world, right? What can we learn in such a dichotomized world? We don't have necessarily, you know, Machina. I mean, to some extent we do, but we don't really have Machina and Yevon, right? But if it were to be conservatives and Democrats, Republicans or Democrats, or atheists and theists, or whatever it is, what is it we can learn from Final Fantasy that we can improve who we are, or we can improve our community through what you wrote about your chapter, through Festinger and so on, and what we can learn from Final Fantasy?
Simply put, it's what Riku was kind of preaching out throughout the entire game, was think for yourself, and understand what to you actually makes sense. And if it goes against that belief, then you know your logic needs to be a strong determinant of, does this make sense? Is this something that I should be doing? And again, you know, now granted, these are very much major principle, like extreme principles, but the idea is, you know, I don't want to hurt somebody, or I don't want to hurt myself in any capacity. And so with that being understood, you know, especially within this game, you know, that's the idea. We don't want to hurt other people. To be able to do this, we want to be able to stop, you know, what's plaguing us. But at the same time, you know, we, in a lot of ways, are very much attached, especially in the United States, I would say, but in other places as well, very much attached to our political beliefs. And there's always these like subsections. They're called unit relationships. And this actually deals with cognitive dissonance and consonance as well, where we can still like something, but at the same time disagree with some of the areas of it. So, you know, you can be part of a community that has a that you have certain political beliefs. However, at the same time, you know, you can sit there and go, but I actually don't agree with this part of this belief system. Now, granted, that's how with religion, like how denominations are formed.
Roger.
Is they'll sit there and go, yeah, I believe in all this stuff, but at the same time, I don't believe in this part of it. And honestly, that's a decent step in the right direction. You know, you could look at the Protestant Reformation in that capacity, because, you know, they were saying the Catholic Church is asking for money. They're saying that money is the only way to a sin to get to heaven, and Martin Luther's like, no, that's ridiculous. Why would that ever be the case? So those are good steps in logical directions, and that's something that, if nothing else, that I can get for people to read out of this chapter is understand that you need to be able to make sure that you have good logic when it comes to dealing with your beliefs and being able to challenge yourself consistently, which is what a lot of people don't do, because this is going to sound really obvious. Thinking is hard. Really actively taking time to spend time in thought and contemplate decisions is really hard. And I have a love-hate relationship with I keep hearing this colloquialism: stand for something or you'll fall for anything. I hear that a lot. I hear a lot of people say that, especially now, and I'm like, okay, I get that. I get it. Beliefs are important.
Oh, I can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Process, regardless of what
Steven,
happens.
you went out maybe 7 seconds ago. Can you restart that?
No, yeah, that's fine. It's basically saying that I have a lot of trouble with the idea of stand for something or you'll believe in anything.
Yeah.
I do agree with a lot of that principle, but I don't. Again, this is how cults believe. It's like, I'm going to stand for this, otherwise I'm just going to fall for whatever this person's going to tell me. And I'm like, yeah, but maybe there's some reasoning to the other side of things. Maybe this person has a good point, and that's saying the cult that you're doing is really dangerous. And I actually reference in the chapter several cults where people have died, not only people that were within the cult, but people outside of it as well. So, yeah, I mean, again, it sounds simple of think for yourself, make sure you spend time in thought, but I don't think it's something that a lot of people do.
Now, what about if it's things that are a little more complicated? And when I think about that, I think about things like religion, where the sort of one of my a favorite phrase of mine is, faith is certainty without proof. Science is proof without certainty. And with faith, you literally don't use critical thought, right? Faith is the antithesis of critical thought. So what do you do when you have things like faith, which exists in our world too, that can't be proven wrong, like Yevon can be proven wrong here in this game? And the other part would be things where we have proof, but it's left to interpretation and people must choose a belief. Like, what do we do in those moments when critical thought might fail and it has to go to a belief as opposed to a fact? Does that make sense?
If I had the ultimate answer for this, I think I would.
You'd make millions of dollars.
Yeah, I think I'd be the ruler of the universe.
I think what I'm saying is hurry up and solve our problems.
Since you wrote this book chapter, this is the reasoning for being, understanding. So now you can figure it all out. Since you wrote this chapter, you have the answer. So that's what I'm gathering out of this.
Pretty much. Pretty much. You chose the chapter. You had the hubris to choose to write.
It's weird, because when I think of, this may be a little. I hope I'm going too much off topic of it. We talk a lot about science. Science is without bias, and there's a lot of people that study axiology, ontology, epistemology that say that's kind of bullshit. That science can be completely objective, and that it's supposed to be completely objective. You would sit there and go, of course it's going to be completely objective. That's what science is.
Impossible.
And you're like, no, it's impossible because you have inherent biases as a person coming into that experiment. It's just, can't argue with that.
Right.
The reason you're studying it is because you think it's something that's important. Therefore, you're gaining an inherent biases. You try to remove those. However, this is the case where this happens all the time, and especially in social science, it for a lot of people becomes all that much more apparent because it's really hard to be able to do that. But this is the kind of thing where I would say there's just so many inconsistencies and middle ground areas that again, it is complex because science is complex. We're constantly refuting each other. Thomas Kuhn's idea of what are they called? Gosh, now I'm like going into my comprehensive exams for my PhD. But there are these areas where paradigm shifts. All these thoughts are consistent. We know that they're true, and all of a sudden there are all these other little things that are starting to trickle in, and you're like, well, now these other truths aren't fitting in, so let's make another one. Put all those in there. Now we've got two truths. Can both of them coexist? And it depends on what you believe. And this is, Brian, where you get into the science of belief. It depends on what you believe here of whether or not you think that these truths can coexist of one truth versus another, or they have to do like a natural selection thing where one truth eats the other and ultimately is the one that lives out as being what we call big T, big truth.
Yeah. No, I like how you say it. I mean, something I tell people sometimes, clients, when we're talking about biases, we have many. We have, internal biases about beliefs about ourselves and ones about the world. And, the way I sort of say it is ideally, science is, am I out of range? Yeah. Science is, trigger command, there we go.
Those grenades.
Science is, standby. Oh yeah, you're right. I think I might be able to use one on from here. Yeah, nice. Science perspective would be there is 50 milliliters of water in this 100 milliliter beaker. That's science, right? But it's impossible for a human to not throw that through their own processing unit and say it's half full or half empty. And then it's impossible in the grand scheme of humans for some of us not to say it's half full, I'll never need water again. Or it's half empty, what's the point of even drinking the water? And I think what I'm hearing you say is we should aspire to get to 50 milliliters in a 100 milliliter beaker, even if it's impossible. But when that fails, that our sort of fail-safe should be our human potential for empathy and understanding. Is that maybe the fail-safe?
Yeah, and yes, and also seeing that there might be another truth out there. I mean, this is the reason why we write literature reviews, is that there might be a couple other people that saying, well, I do see this glass is half full, I do see this glass is half empty. We at least need to acknowledge those principles,
right,
whether or not we believe in them or not. But and Tocho, I like this questions is in regards into ingrained beliefs, what's the difference between believing in gray areas and the notion of hypocrisy?
Oh, shit.
And I don't pretend to be a theologist. I didn't go to seminary or anything like that. But what I could say, the way at least I interpret the idea of believing in a gray area versus hypocrisy is this idea of hypocrisy in this potential would mean that you are going against a belief rather than it being in that gray area. It's almost like you're supposed to believe in this potential thing. Is where hypocrisy comes in. So, I mean, we talk about the example of Bloodborne. Tocho, I know you'll know this one, is, when Lawrence leaves Willem sees it as a betrayal of hypocrisy because he's saying, no, you're doing something really dangerous. You're supposed to be on my side with this. Versus seeing a gray area, the way, again, at least I believe in it, or the way I see it, the way that it's written, is kind of saying that it doesn't have any pre-expectations for what you're supposed to. There's no pre-expectations of one side or the other. I could be wrong on that, but
no, I like
that's
that.
The way.
Now, you talk a lot about cognitive dissonance, social judgment theory in your chapter related to Final Fantasy, which is great. If I were to ask, how do emotions play into all of it? How do emotions play into our ability to be critical thinkers, our ability to be open-minded, our ability to change a belief, our ability to form a belief? What's the role of emotions?
I mean, emotions are critical, and emotions are important. We always try to say, like, be truly rational, but, I mean, think about this in moral decision making, that when you play video games, for instance, like, people will respond very much in ways that they're like, I know this might be a good decision logically, but I can't not do, the other thing. Like, it's very much the, again, goes back to do we kill a bunch of people or do we kill this one person? And as much as I don't consider Joel a good person in it, I'm like, I see where he's coming from. I see why he did what he did in that case. And hey, listen, Games, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of empathy needs to be taken into consideration when you make these decisions, is that, we do have different beliefs, and we do need to be, we're trying to be people and sympathetic of one another. Now, in the case of Final Fantasy, it just happens to be the right decision is the one when you side with Yuna. But you'll see a lot of people are making it based on an emotional decision. I don't think Titus is making a logical decision. I think he's making it an emotional one. It just happens to be the right one.
Right. Well, and actually, Tocho, I love that. And Tocho brings up something that I think transitions well with that. Building on that, what can be said about a person who knows something is wrong, but supports it in favor of being branded a hypocrite? That sort of social pressure of, I don't really want to speak out, or how does that play into it?
Gosh, yeah, that's, I mean, that does go into a lot of the emotion of it, of being ostracized. I point to Lulu on this because I think she of the group is the most in the know about the doctrine. Maybe one of the smartest out of the group that especially believes in Yevon. Because she gives these like small tidbits throughout the game where she's like, look, I know a lot of this sounds wrong. I know a lot of this sounds weird, and it sounds like we're hurting Lulu, but at the same time, this is just what it is. Now, she does believe it. Now, so what Tocho, I guess you're saying is you don't believe it, but you are trying to save face. And in that sense, I mean, we have a lot of people that do that. They just try to save face because there's usually something weighing more heavily on it than the actual belief itself. It's like not contradicting beliefs, but beliefs stacked on one another. That I'm saying, like, for instance, you would say, my job is more important than this belief. And I don't want to get fired from my job, so I'm not going to speak out, because if I do, I'll get in trouble by my job.
Well, not only not speak out, but also support. I think that's something that's interesting in Tocho, is like the idea, like, it's one thing to be passively compliant, another to be like, I don't believe it, but I'm going to be like, yep, he's right. Like they're right, but like,
But again, it does deal. It's a hierarchy.
Yeah,
it absolutely is a hierarchy of what you think is more important in this sense. And so, I mean, a lot of people do that. A lot of people, even though this sounds really stupid, but I'm going to support it because I know this person, I either trust this person, or this is just what I'm supposed to do. This is actually a social psych concept called the theory of planned behavior, that talks about your attitudes towards something, or subjective norms like your friends outweighing your own intentions and behaviors to do something. Yeah. So you might sit there and say, I disagree with this, but I'm going to do it anyway, despite that. Which is, again, it seems really weird that people would do that. But again, I believe it's that hierarchy of something's more important than what I'm feeling about this particular thing.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot this part. Here's your pixelated brown and red food. Some cilantro in there, maybe?
Some salsa that you're just gonna eat with your hands. Golly. I'm reminded of Pirates of the Caribbean, where Elizabeth goes to go in for the chicken leg, and she's like,
I lost you.
Be hungry. You lost me?
About 3 seconds
Because
ago.
you eat too fast.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
I was saying it's like Pirates of the Caribbean, where Elizabeth like, takes out a little knife and starts cutting a little piece off the chicken leg. And he's like, "You must be thirsty.
Oh yeah, and he's like watching her enjoy it.
You must be
He's like,
hungry." And she's just like,
Let's see.
There. What is your name?
I legit thought she handed him a brain on a tray.
It kind of looks that way.
Yeah. It's got a lot of Hannibal Riku in there. Oh shit! I love him. I want to tell him a joke. I wish he was real. So I could be like, knock knock, Titus. Oh, okay, who's there? Orange. Orange who? Knock knock. Who's there? Orange. Orange who? Knock knock. Who's there? Apple. Apple who? Orange, you glad I didn't say...
Who are you guys anyway?
Whatever, I messed it up. Oh, shit! Titus, you are easy, bro. You are easy, bro.
What inside bed is.
Where are you from?
Titus, he's got the giggles.
Player.
He's got them giggles. Is there a character in this game, by the way, that is there a character in this game that capitalizes on a belief? Knows the belief is wrong, but chooses to have it out of capitalism. I want to capitalize on it. There's been a lot where it's like okay, who in this, like I think of like all these ones where there's like usually a corrupt priest or something, right? Who like knows it not to be true, but makes a lot of money.
It's like you're honing in on the right answer.
It's almost like people who like names rhyme with Bleemore or Moonaleska. I don't know, like
that have these like really goofy hairdos that there's not enough hair gel and mousse in the universe to keep his hair.
Yeah.
What it is. I believe you're talking about Seymour.
Yeah, I think Seymour, I believe, is one of them, and then is Unaleska also one of them?
Don't worry.
Yeah, you know they kind of go out of their way to say
maybe you just had
Yevon's not a bad person per se. I kind of have the feeling that Lady Unaleska has some pretty strong difficulties with. Sure? I have trouble saying that she's not bad.
Sin destroyed it
I kind of see her as a main antagonist of her ideas of how she calls it hope, and the only way that you can go through hope. But it seems like this is the difference. It's like seems like Lady Unaleska still firmly believes in it as much as corrupted as it is, whereas Seymour believes in it, but at the same time he's like, I'm gonna do everything that I can to do it in a potentially hazardous way, to the point of going against the religion. Like, he not only he capitalizes in the most interesting ways, because like early in the game he's like, hey, let's take down these guys by using Machina, and of course, you know, Waka stands up and is like, hey, aren't we supposed to not use Machina? He's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Hey, you're fine. Well, and Tocho says,
this is very even. No big deal.
Tocho says, Seymour, Maester Micah, Maester Canuck, and then also, I'd argue that Unaleska isn't a capitalist, but has a genuine belief based out of absolute hopelessness.
And thus why she would teach hope in what it is. And I think she is very much supported of father who sacrificed everything, including himself and including a lot of other people. But she felt it in such a way that she's like, I get what we're doing is good, even though she has to know that destroying Sin by means of the final Aeon keeps bringing Sin back and keeps Yevon alive. So while she's probably not a capitalist in that capacity, she's still very well aware of the irony of
leave it to me.
final Aeon. She has to.
Promise.
Yeah.
I think she's.
You'd rather stay here?
I mean, this is drinking the magic, because she's so far down spiral that she still believes it, and still believes that this is the best way to do it.
Don't tell anyone you're from Xanarkand, okay? Yevon says it's a holy
That's how I see it. Whereas, I mean, Seymour knows how to become Sin.
Oh,
He does?
Cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's his goal, actually, is trying to kill Sin so he can become Sin himself. So taking Jek's place in this. She's
My
not perpetuating
Xanarkand?
the cycle
some kind
out
of
of a grab
holy
power
place?
like the Maester's, correct?
Yeah, right, I thought.
Oh, sure.
That Sin is the
Since
only way.
when?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And that's a good point, Tocho. Of a lot of the Maesters
Sin?
again will
Luca?
turn on you in an
I
instant.
thought Sin just took
To
me
the
a
point where
faraway
if you try to go back to
place that I could go
Besaid,
back in a day or two.
they'll sick
But
a
years
dark
into the
aeon
future?
on you to try to stop you
way.
because you're automatically a brand of the you're a heretic now.
Right.
And those, by the way, those dark aeons, not easy to beat. And me and Yojimbo.
Yeah. Come
Just take him out.
forward, Anima. Kill me. It's like, oh,
It's
there you are.
like, Seymour has mommy issues.
Right. Isn't it his
He'll
mom?
be really
Isn't it his
mad.
mom?
Yeah, it's his mom.
That's
Yeah.
so weird, dude.
The way to get it, I mean, it's this huge fetch quest
Yeah.
to get Anima, and when you do,
He's so
you have to
baller,
beat
though.
Anima. Oh yeah.
He's
But then you
ridiculous.
see the ghost of Seymour, his mother, who's a Guado, and she's just like, "Hey, take care of that boy. He's a little misguided." We're like, "You think?"
Yeah, he's a monster, lady.
Yeah, you
Save current
fabricated
gamers.
fiend. That is a Lord Azure Final Fantasy X. Quick to talk about. I'm down for that. Really down for that.
That's hilarious. If I were to have guessed, if we had been months ago, and I were to have guessed, hey Ryan, what game would be streamed twice on your channel? I don't think it would have been Final Fantasy X, but now it makes a whole hell of a lot of sense that it is. It's like, come join Ryan randomly for Final Fantasy X. Also on Tuesdays, Final Fantasy X. Is that like? There's a possibility we're gonna have 2 days in a row. Of
Final Fantasy X,
just
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
fantastic.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm okay with that.
Oh, I'm 100% okay with that. I have no problem with that.
Hey!
Hey!
Hey! Throw a
Oh!
blitzball at my face.
I'm a seal. Pow!
Play for
Howie!
Anarchy. I shouldn't have said that.
Right. Oh, what is that called? The don't tell me, because that's not called the jet shot. That sphere shot. Is it the sphere shot?
I think that's the sphere shot. I don't think.
Oh, you know what? I think there's.
You learn the jet shot on the way from Besaid to
Yeah.
I can't remember what the tournament town
Well,
was
to be
called
clear,
off the
you
top
have
of my
you have a
head.
chance to learn it. The first time I played, I didn't see the button prompts, and I didn't get the jet shot, man. It was such a
Well,
pain.
yeah, because it's like expert level DDR.
Well, I didn't
like-
even see it. I didn't even see the
Left,
X's.
right,
I was
left,
so
right,
upset.
up, down, there, down, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, and then you're like, I don't even have that on my controller.
Right. He's like, hey, kid.
They're triangles.
Press X when I give you like a half a second. Press X. 7-year-old. Okay.
You big weenie.
Yeah. All right, I go here.
I guess it can be said that Jekt isn't exactly the best father figure.
No, he's pretty terrible. Okay, but the sheer thigh power to pull off the jet. Oh my god, I know, right? Hey, you don't like machines,
think
dude.
about it.
Yo,
You're taking a sword and swinging it underwater and doing damage.
Try that move one more
You
time.
gonna try that move one more time? Hey.
Finally. things were starting to look up.
Oh, is it gonna make
I
me do
love
it?
his like inner monologues as well.
Yeah. That was the last summer we played baseball together.
I hate my
What?
dad. Yes, we know. It needs to be the Final Fantasy X drinking game of how much
You know
Tina says he hates his
Who you
dad.
play for?
I know. I want to do a sound over. Oh yeah, there you go. Riku says, "Hey, don't tell anybody that you're from Xanarkand. No one. I play for the Xanarkand Apes."
I meant...
Oh, shit.
I played for the Flannerkin Babes.
My head's all
Flannerkin.
The oh man,
So, I don't know where this
that was worse actually, right?
where I came
Worse.
Right.
Sin's toxin got
I
to
want
you.
someone to do a voiceover where it's like Sandlot noises over this.
Praise be to Yevon.
Hercules lived to the Herculean age of 21 before he died.
All right, back to practice.
And we just started to split up.
I'm walking.
Squares married Wendy Peppercorn. They had 9 kids. Just like Titus and like all that
What,
shit.
you hungry? Okay, back to the village. I get
He
you
just
something.
lived to be 100 years old. In years.
I don't think there's anything meaningful I can get out of those guys, but I do think there's like a
Wow.
chest
Capable
or
of
something.
thought, life,
There we go.
cognitive being. Just like ding dong. It's ball players. They don't know anything.
Right. And I still wear the
Well,
hat.
not enhanced.
Right. I somehow can still wear a hat that fit me when I was 11. The Sandlot. That's the most unbelievable the whole movie. That hat doesn't fit.
Yeah, I will say I'm looking
I felt
forward
like I
to
could
my
trust
favorite line in this
Waka,
game.
So
Just the
I
old
just had
lady
to
that
ask.
screams at you when you go near Yuna.
It's true Xanarkin was destroyed.
Oh my
Like,
god, I
as soon
can't
as you get-
remember.
Stay away from the
Years
summoner!
It's just a
Oh my
big
gosh, I can't even
pile of
remember. That's
rubble,
hilarious.
Isn't it?
She just
Long
like
time
immediately
ago,
gets
there
pissed
were
off
a
at
whole
you.
lot of cities in Spira. Big cities with machina
Ah,
machines
yes,
to
hello.
run 'em.
I do the weird talking
People
bits that
played
followed up with
all
I'm
day
super
to let the
high
machina do
because
the
that's
work.
how
And then,
someone high
well,
act.
take a look at it. Sin
Oh, I
came,
mean,
destroyed the
whoa,
machina
what?
cities.
I don't know.
Xanarkand along with him.
Maybe that's why he introduced the
That was about
laugh,
1,000
so he had some
years
evidence
ago.
that he's
Just like
super
you
high.
said. If you ask me, sins are
Do we
punishment
do
for
we need to
letting
talk
things
about
get out
that
of
laugh
hand.
on this stream?
What gets me though? is we gotta suffer.
I think if we
because of what
didn't,
some goofballs did
I
way
would
back
die
when.
on the inside.
Of course, we
If
have
it
to repent
happened
for our
and we
sins.
didn't bring it up,
That's important. It's just
I
that-
never
I don't,
noticed that person.
I don't think we
Keep
can
at it
get to that
sometimes, you know?
part.
Oh, yes. Not today, anyway. I don't
Yeah,
think.
Riku couldn't.
Yeah, but
Lying. Why would they?
it's like I understand why they did what they did with it, but wow.
I know.
But you from the Xanarkand.
They have
wow.
in the world of Final Fantasy game,
Hey, I'm not saying
they have a
that
scene where you
never
do that, and he's like, "Let me try
existed,
laughing."
huh?
Ha ha ha! And then they all pause and like,
I
"What are
appreciated
you
the
doing?"
fact that Waka
That's
was
what one of the
trying to
characters
cheer
says.
up. But at that
What
time,
are you doing? He's
all
like,
I
"Oh,
could
sorry."
think
And the other one's
about
like, "No, no, 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 no,
everything
no. Why
that
did you
happened to
just
me.
laugh like that? Like
All
it's like a little
started
inside
with
joke on this
sin.
beach."
Maybe if I could find Sin one more time, I could go home.
I mean, like, there's an entire
For now,
YouTube
I just lived
channel
life until that
dedicated
time
to every
came.
song in
No
Final
more worrying
Fantasy
about
X
where or when I was.
being re-recorded to
Sure, it was hard
Jesus'
not to
laugh.
think of home.
Yeah.
But I started to feel better already. A little
That's
better.
a thing. That's
Maybe.
thing that somebody spent the time in doing.
So Titus's belief. Uh-oh. Oh wow! I didn't push a button for so long that it. There we go. Titus's belief then. Would his main belief at this point that he's acting upon be sin will get me back to Xanarkand? I mean, is that his primary belief right now that he's acting upon?
Yeah, I mean, more or less. I get it to where I think about this, the capacity. I'm like, what does Titus believe and want?
Hey,
Because
it's
he
this
kind of
way.
just goes along with the flow, in every sense of the word. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't know the tie with Sin and Jet. But he does know that this is the kind of the best way to get to Xanarkand. I think that's what's going on. Yeah.
I totally forgot that he was trying to find Sin to get back to. Whoa! Trying to get Sin to get back to what he believed as his home.
What's the big
love the
idea?
Basad theme is Wake Up Dream. Man,
I agree. Besaid theme is wonderful.
we are going to pair another controller because it must have been a loose connection on my
Register.
charger. I'm thinking it's out of battery. I'm thinking that, but Add a Bluetooth device. Sure.
But it is interesting of all the things that Titus does to just get point A to point B.
Uh-huh.
Because it is just very much, I'm thinking it at the time. Seriously, that's how he does almost everything.
That's pretty true.
I mean, even meeting Yuna for the first time, it's like, hey, you see that, like, summoning trial? I want to go in there. Actually, you can't go in there. He's like, okay, I'll go in there.
Okay! Like, damn it.
The priests are sitting there like, he do that? One of them's like, I guess he just did. Oh.
Oh.
We stop him? Nah. Sorry,
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. Or he'll be dead. One or the other.
One or the other. He'll be fine or he'll be dead. There's those two options. Or he'll be okay. Like, you just said literally everything that could happen.
That's literally all three options.
Right. Hey, Engage Family Gaming. Welcome, welcome.
We're fighting fish underwater by throwing balls at them.
That's right. Hey, I'm gonna throw this ball at it. It just sort of floats upward. What? Hey. You're a moron, bro. I know I am.
Hey, thanks for the subscribe.
Hey, appreciate that.
Gaming.
Do.
I love the blitzball physics in this game.
Exactly right. So are there?
I want to do that. I want to be like throw a ball and it's like a beach ball float up, right? As you were saying earlier, right? Oh, that didn't work at all.
Oh, right. The water. Is there a? Oh, yeah, I forgot how many encounters there are. And I apologize if I'm misremembering. Do you talk about the stages in which theoretically beliefs are developed or cognitive dissonance occurs?
Yes, I do. It talks a lot about like overriding cognition and what that takes. Man, it's been a while since I've talked about this, so like a lot of it doesn't like immediately
give us the hard bullet points.
Hard bullet points are that there are competing evidence in terms of overcoming cognition. So there's one. There needs to be kind of like a majority rule, as in there's not only there's these competing thoughts of dissonance, but there's also a lot of it. So, and the other thing is that it has to make sense. Again, slowly it breaks down. So in cognitive dissonance, one of the things that occurs is that you're reintroducing new cognitions into this story that you've created. So in this case, it's the story of Yevon and Machina and the civil war between Bavel and Anarchin. And hey, Meg, how are you?
Hey, Megs.
So this is the kind of thing that, when we're looking at cognition, it is something that is taken down over time, and we're introducing new cognitions to the mix, contributed to the story. So like again with Final Fantasy X, I'm repeating myself a little bit here, that we are we're starting to see things in a different light here. Starting to see things don't match up. I mean, small things like Seymour using Machina. It's supposed to be inherited that you're not supposed to use Machina if you are a supporter of Yevon, and yet it's being done. All these small things are building up to and reintroducing a new cognition, where the point that you have to rewrite it. That's where consonance comes in. So, and Ryan, you make a really good point that I wanted to touch on real quick. Is this idea of actually Yuna, Waka, and Blue, Kamari too, for that matter, actually have consonants.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the game, that they are consonants that they believe in Yevon. It's not until they bring in new team members within the group that are saying, "Hey, this doesn't make any sense at all," and we keep seeing Seymour doing things that, hey, he probably shouldn't be doing that.
Well, and even that, it makes me wonder, like, and I haven't played this in a while, do they even begin to have dissonance until they start to get, like, hard data to refute them? Like, because I know Titus comes in, they got, like, they sort of make some claims, right? But they're like, nah, I've got, if I recall, nah, I got faith in the system. And then it takes, like, some pretty notable events, right, before they start to feel like, oh, wait.
It is one event specifically that finally breaks it.
Which is that Seymour? Which one is that one?
You know, and it's weird because this is the most bizarre thing about beliefs here is that church literally has them to be sentenced to die as heretics, and they're still trying to gain in good favor with Yevon. I mean, how much dissonance can you get? Somebody saying, hey, these are heretics, and we're like, wait, what? No, we believe in this stuff. No, you're heretics. You're gonna die. And they send you through this. I can't remember. It's like a Latin based word that you go in and to this place, and it's almost a certainty that you're supposed to die. It's a death sentence. But so you escape that. You escape those trials. And golly,
you
choking it much.
Right?
Yeah. You're not that bad, are you? Because I kill you. Right.
It isn't until they Purifico. Yes, thank you. So yeah, they send you through that. You're a heretic of the church. You don't marry Seymour. Yet, I mean, even Waka is the absolute worst at it. Is Waka, even at the point where Lulu finally breaks down and go when they meet Lady Untitled, they're like, oh my gosh, we're wrong about this. This is actually doing. It's making things worse, and on top of that, Yuna's gonna die. And before the fight, Waka's like, "Good grief! I can't believe we're gonna fight Lady Untitled."
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I'm like, are you still thinking that way?
Yeah. And Xanarkin have in common.
But I mean, I think that speaks to the good writing of Final Fantasy, to where it's mentioned that it's really hard to get rid of that. When that dissonance comes into play, it's really hard to rewrite the script, and Waka is just not having it.
Tocho was giving you the words via Purifico. Oh, okay, yeah, didn't know you mentioned that.
And we never won a game.
So that's it's like a jail death sentence. Right. Like you're going there to die. Oh, I know, Tocho. Yeah, Lulu and Lady Untitled. One of the most heartbreaking dialogue, because Lulu is crushed.
This new job, yeah?
She's so logical about. She's like one of the most logical when it comes to you, Yevon. Probably the most responsible about it. And she's like, wait a minute, because this is the big thing. Because the belief system is if you atone for the Machina and just don't use it at all, sin will cease to be and stop coming.
Go out with a bang.
And Untiled's like, oh wait, no, actually that's not true.
What's our goal?
You can't completely atone. And Lulu's like, wait, what?
If we give it our all,
seriously?
I can walk away happy.
Spent all this time. Seriously?
No. If I say what's our goal,
I'm not doing it justice. She is
pretty crushed. I can't remember that very well.
Yeah, because she dedicates so much to it.
Victory.
Did humanity ever achieve such purity?
You're serious?
Yeah, that's I believe a line from Lady Untitled there, where she was just like, how could you possibly atone for Machina? You can't. And the party's all sitting there, like a disgruntled Scooby-Doo gang. They're like,
oh?
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Overread that one. I'll keep a few different files just in case
It is heartbreaking, and I mean that's to me one of the best scenes in the game, bar none, is the conversation with Lady Untitled. Also, great boss fight in Lady Untitled. I think it was even better than
Seymour?
Jekt.
Oh, Jekt. Yeah, I thought Seymour
was a good boss fight too.
Seymour was a great boss battle. The Jekt one was actually not.
Which one?
Well, I guess I should rather say. Okay, the Sin one on where you're on the airship is in my opinion, what's the word? Like a milestone fight in the Final Fantasy series. But the actual Sin, like when you're in Sin having that battle, I if I remember correctly, I remember feeling underwhelmed. with that last battle.
Do you mean with Jekt or Yu Yevon?
Well, it's when you're
like
in
a
sin.
big tick.
When you're in sin and you.
There's 3 bosses in sin.
Who do you got? Who do you got?
There's Seymour, that has like the elemental things behind him swirling around the entire time. There's Jekt that has the heavy rock music, and he's coming out, looking like a giant ifrit, scar and all. And then you've got Yu Yevon. Which Yu Yevon, I don't remember. I don't think it's I think you can lose to it, but it's extremely difficult to lose to Yu Yevon. And yes, you have to fight the Dark Aeons while you're there.
You know what? I might not remember it. I just remember feeling...
It's a really underwhelming fight at the very end.
I just remember having some... Oh, see, here's where I get caught up. There was another pathway up at the top, and I really want to go back up to it. No, I'm not going to. Oh, wait. Oh, it's telling me to go back up to it, actually. So do I come down here later?
Auto life active, okay.
Okay.
Remind me, Tocho,
right,
I'm having a little... It's been a while since I played this game, the idea of Yevon's false hope. But do you mind refreshing my memory on that? Because the dissonance wouldn't really factor in... it would just be on what they thought Yevon said. So I'm curious as to what you're trying to talk about with that one.
This is where I get really hard. I have 2 paths to choose from. I always want to choose the path that's going to have a dead end, and then the one that's like optional. Or whatever. Yeah. And I feel like more than 50% of the time I choose the the path where I wander, and it's like there's nothing down here. God damn it! So I'll go back. Sorry about the massive...
What do you think about the linear nature of this game? Because a lot of people didn't like how Elrodi Final Fantasy X was. Personally, actually really liked it. But I know a lot of people hated that.
But see, I remember people also really loving that it went away from a turn-based system. Wait, is this where I want to go? I mean, it's got the thing that suggests... Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is the town down here, right? Okay. People also got really upset when they got rid of the turn-based system.
The one from the
I liked the turn-based system.
Be on guard.
I liked the guided track. I was in this for the story. I don't mind the open world, but I went in expecting this. You know what I mean?
Great.
So it didn't bother me in the slightest.
Crusaders.
Huh?
I don't mind. So, there's a lot of people that get really upset with linear games, and I personally don't necessarily agree with them. And same with turn-based. I like turn-based games because I do get to give thought to.
About the Crusaders, you can ask them yourself.
I think one of the things that, to your point, Ryan, is I play games for story. It's one of the reasons why I do the stream that I do, is because I really like stories, and JRPGs usually have really, really fascinating stories. And so, I usually play on easy bake oven mode.
Right. I think Engage is on the same boat. Says Engage says I'm hilariously bad at action games. This is Tocho. The revelation of falsehood. Unalesca reveals that the path of atonement is futile, and it is known by the higher-ups of the church, but is perpetuated because they think that giving the people something to believe in, even though it's a lie, is better than falling to despair.
Yeah, I mean, so where that would align with dissonance is this idea, especially for people who are heads of the church. They must know that.
To tell the truth.
It's the kind of thing where they would have to have that dissonance, at least to some degree. But it is kind of like a necessary evil. So that's how they cope and become dissonant.
Go ahead, you try.
That they'll sit there and go, this isn't good, but not everything is good. Not everything is going to be happy smiles and so forth. You're dealing with a giant whale that's destroying everything. So, we'd rather have this hope than nothing at all. And so, and I do think there is a lot of people that genuinely believe in that. There's one character, she acts as almost like an assistant to one of the highest priests, and I can't remember her name.
Blitzball sign for me.
But she's a really good character, and genuinely believes this. But it is that false hope to where I know it's a fallacy, but it's what we got. It's what we can do. And I mean, think about it from the perspective of if you're threatened to be destroyed at any point in time, you'd do anything to have the calm too, especially if you don't think there's an alternative. And that actually gets into a small fallacy within my own chapter, in my opinion, is this idea of many people think of it as just the only way of doing something, not that they prefer it. It's just, how could we know any better? We're not being taught something else, and that's probably a fallacy of the church in that case. It's the party coming to this realization similar to cognitive dissonance. Yeah. I mean, again, that is the level of cognitive dissonance that moves it in the other direction, Tocho. Again, there's usually these aha epiphanies that finally move it in a direction to where you're like, okay, this is wrong.
Go present yourself to the temple.
Go present yourself to the temple of Summoner King Triton.
A little praying.
Don't go inside.
Hey, girlie, your dad is looking for you. All right, let's see. Well, what was your favorite part about writing your chapter for Psychology of Final Fantasy? What was your favorite part?
Man. Having to think. I think my favorite part about it was being able to explore this game from an entirely different lens.
Recently, was it? I think so.
Because I think there's something to be said for how somebody that has a film degree versus someone who just enjoys films
nearby. It'll attack the island for sure.
That comes into play, that you can see things in a different light and that you're actively looking for things.
I really don't know anything.
And I liked it just because I thought there was a lot of aha moments. I was playing the game,
right?
Because I knew going into playing Final Fantasy X that this was for a chapter.
Yes, sir.
And so kind of picking out those small things and putting, the pieces of yarn together with the paper and making these little epiphanies. I just really enjoyed it, and that's the kind of thing I like doing, is these deep dives into entertainment media, because it's fun. People like talking about it. I mean, it's the kind of thing where people are coming into the stream and wanting to talk about Final Fantasy X and psychology. We do these things about going to panels at PAXs, and the rooms are filled. And
for those who weren't there or hasn't seen it, Steven and I did a panel, a Final Fantasy panel with Dr. Steph Wormy, Dr. Chelsea Hughes, Dr. Anthony Bean, and Dr. Shane Tilton, I believe. And we got 1,500 plus people to do the Titus laugh on the PAX 2 channel.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was the wave of ha ha. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, and everybody was super about it.
Oh, they yeah. Oh shoot, there's a book in there. I think I saw Al Bed book on the ground.
To go to your point, Ryan, I mean, as part as like things that I like about writing these chapters is, a lot of people are like, boy, this is really trivial. Why are you writing about this? Like, this is what people are talking about. Yeah. This is what people like talking about. And so importance to me is relative when people start really getting interested in this kind of thing. And if it's really popular and people want to discuss theories about it, I'm all about it. And again, Final Fantasy is just one of those things that I adore. I love the series, and being able to write about the series is just a ton of fun.
Well, and I think an asset or a virtue of being human in general is finding a deep sense of meaning and purpose in things that are trivial, that to some would be seen as meaningless and purposeless. I think that's something that makes humans exceptional, to be able to take something that some might view as meh, and it's something that has defined our jobs, our lives, our relationships, our self-identities. And, I think some people do it very proactively, and I think many people, if you're playing a game, I think at a subconscious level, it is impacting you. I mean, we do know through research that you play a story game, it's going to impact you, how you view yourself, how you view the world, even if you're like, it's just playing a video game. Like, yeah, but you left, though, with a different idea through parasocial relationships, through vicarious experiences, through, living through these people making these trivial, quote-unquote, fake relationships. You learned something. You improved.
I think that's probably one of the most important things about, at least in my mind, about parasocial relationships.
Standing in that place.
A lot of people automatically go in and say, by definition, Nora kind of goes into this fake of the relationship.
Right.
I'm like, y'all, the emotions with parasocial relationships are very real, and they're extremely important to us. Think of religion in this capacity. People that are very religious, somebody that they've never met, their reason for being, they hold every relationship to that standard. Someone that they've never met, and it's extremely important to them. So, when people say, well, parasocial relationships don't matter, I'm like, oh my gosh, they absolutely do.
Oh, of course they do.
They're like the foundation of our lives. And in many ways, if you approach it the correct way, they can be impactful in a good way. Being able to take religion and doing it in a way that helps humanity is in many ways very good. It's just you're being a complete judgmental jerk or doing something completely awful with it based on that belief is where it hurts. But yeah, I mean, again, you can talk a lot about these things as being trivial, but I'll mention going through hacks all these years of doing these. Well, 3. I mean, I've done a lot of panels and packs, but I'll mention a game and a reference that I'll mention a psychological theory. Like I'll mention, death and grieving through Majora's Mask or Grievance through Persona 5, and I'll have someone up after the panel come up to me in tears saying, this particular thing is how I got over the death of my grandfather. And I'm like, y'all, this needs to be talked about. This is impactful, and for many people, these emotions are very real.
That we should respect some kind of great man.
So again, like that, to your point, Ryan, people see it as trivial, but going in and talking about these themes can be very impactful for some.
Absolutely. 2 quotes. One is, Tocho says, the Titus laugh has an unmistakable cadence that is burned into everyone's repressed memory. And then it's good to know you're this creepy with any game, Tocho, says Wandering.
And that would definitely be a UPM for Wandering.
And then Megan, games give us a safe place to learn, try something new, and grow. It does. I think, and I think for for this one, there's maybe not as, these old games didn't have as much of choose your own path, which I don't think you always need. I like the choose your own path, but I think when it's I don't mind guide railed games, or I still don't, but absolutely. I mean, and there's a lot of chapters, a lot of people cover the idea of we do learn vicariously through the protagonist, and Final Fantasy does a very good job. I won't talk too much about mine, but one of the reasons the creators use amnesia and retrograde and fugue and all these things in their games is so that the protagonist has a clean slate, is having to learn all about the world all over again, is having to make new relationships, so that the player feels like they're part of the protagonist. They're like, oh, I'm also learning about this world too. I'm also making new relationships also, so I feel like I relate to you, Titus. I feel like I relate to you, Cloud. I feel like I relate to you, Gal, or whatever. I was talking to Steven before we started. Out of all the games I've played, there's a number that I've gotten really ingrained and immersed into, but it's been a while since I played this game, and I had nostalgia not to play the game. I had nostalgia as if I had been on this adventure, right? Is this nostalgia of like, I remember when I went to the Calm Lands. It was a lot of work getting there. You know, like,
it's a lot of work while I was there.
And boy, while I was there, I got a little handsy.
Those Marlboros weren't gonna smoke themselves.
I was a 10-year-old with a 16-year-old summoner. What were they to think as I swam in that? That wasn't the Calm Lands, right? Where that amazing cinematic with Titus and Una, and they're like swimming in and.
Oh no! The Calm Lands were way later.
Well,
Calm Lands were the ones where you had the chocobo races, and it was like
no, I know the Calm Lands, but
best place to farm.
But I thought
Sorry.
that happened. No, it's okay. I thought that happened in the like bioluminescent forest in the back corner of the Calm Lands, didn't it?
Oh, memory serves correctly. It was right after the tournament scene. Like you were playing Blitzball, you got kidnapped by. Well, Una got kidnapped by the Albed. They take her off, and they're going to. I can't remember where they were going, but it was something that when they finally got away from that little spot where the tournament was, I cannot remember the life of me what that place was called. But that's when they started to. That's when they did that laughing scene.
The laughing. Oh no! I was. I'm sorry. I was referring to the when they kiss in the water and the bioluminescent forest in the corner of Calm Lands. I think. With the Chimera area.
I can't remember where that was in relation to the Calm Lands, but yes, that bioluminescence place. What a pretty place.
Oh, it's beautiful. My God, that whole cinematic. Yeah, I remember when this came out and being. Okay, I have a question for you. Now that.
It's Luca.
Oh, Luca, that's right. Thank you.
That's it's Luca.
Titus, right? He comes in here when he was in Dream Xanarkin. You know, his belief was, like you said, Blitzball is fun and dads aren't. Like that's the extent of his that's his extent of his belief system. And then he dreams Xanarkin. Well, he basically gets pulled into the real world. And he's left with this little bit of a blank slate, right? Except for the fact that he believes where he was real. He believes that his previous Xanarkin was real, and he believes that getting to Sin will get him back there. Because those are the only beliefs he has. He comes into this church now. This is our first real, we're finally in here. We've got the Braska statue. We're about to talk to this, Moby character. And I don't remember which one it is. This Mr. Clean in a super dope Catholic robe. And does he ever, because I can't recall, is he ever put on a position where he has cognitive dissonance, or does he go through the developmental process of creating a belief that is Yevon? I mean, what about with Titus?
At least with Titus, I think the whole ideology of Yevon is just kind of escaped on him. It's like he never really believes it right from the get-go. He's always kind of skeptical of it. I really just think he doesn't have this idea of what he believes. Because not only does he not flat out accept it, so okay, I am clandestine. We have to take a small break on this. It's because Ian actually renamed the character specifically that his name is pronounced Titus.
Yeah.
Although I've called him Titus in the past.
You're wrong, I am clandestine. His name is Titus. TIE-DISS.
Hashtag Ryan changed canon. Anyway, Titus. I don't think he just has that much of a belief system because he completely disregards everything with Yevon. Like, he dismisses a lot of things, or he's pretty apathetic about it. He listens to a degree, but then it's like, hey, again, stay out of this church. And he's like, okay, I'm going to do it anyway. So again, he has a blatant disregard. I think it's. I want that tattooed, by the way.
That's exactly. I said I would wear the hell out of that shirt. where Blitzball's fun and dads aren't. Titus 2000, whenever it was made.
Really need to make that into a t-shirt. Let's get Blitzball tattoos. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh my god. Mine'll just be a tattoo that just says, if your goalie doesn't have anti-nap, they're not a goalie.
You better be careful. You got in trouble at NCAA, or not at NCAA, at PAX.
Yeah.
Talking about goalies.
Right. He was like, the Albed is like, nope, it's Zaguado. But he had the highest catch. Catch means nothing if you can't have anti-nap. At a certain point, everybody has anti-nap. And I would play this game just for the Blitzball. It's a fun game in this game. That side game of Blitzball, I maxed out all my people. It's a blast. And when you get high enough, kind of like when your cactus does 9999 damage, when you get high enough, everybody has has nap shot, and you're just gonna get scored on like a fiend. Wait, I'm forgetting where I went.
No.
I guess I got.
On the reflection of Xanarkin created the end of the Machina War. Pre-war spear may have been. Is that?
Can I talk to this person?
Yeah. Yeah, very well could have been. I mean, again, it really doesn't start. Nothing starts until they mention Yevon as it is.
Hi, I'm clandestine. It is unfair. She says, it's unfair they have large arms. I think they also have giant hands, don't they? Aren't they like built to be a goalie? Like a bunch of Michael Phelps. All right. All right, let's see. So I'm winning that.
I feel like a lot of this whole religion was just based off sore losers. It's not fair. You were winning.
Hey, right.
No more Machina. You can't use Machina.
So do I leave? Do I leave?
I think you go up in the. Don't you go up in the temple there?
What does he say? He says only Sword Guardian. Oh, I've got to come back with.
But just go up there. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, I've got to come back with some of the crew. I think, right? Their arms, hands go past their knees. Wow. That's crazy. Oh, thanks, I'm clandestine. Thanks for being here. I think I gotta go get Waka, maybe.
Absolutely.
I think
Much
I have to
more
go
fun
get
than grading. Whereas one of my colleagues in my department is euphemism for grading is that thing I don't like to do.
Sorry, man.
He's like, do you want to go do that thing I don't like to do?
Maybe I need to take a nap. Is that what I need to do? Hey, take a nap in my bed. I promise I won't touch you. Waka, dude, why would you?
You could at least go see how they're doing.
There we go.
You can't interfere. It's a rule.
There we go. Anti-nap. Speaking of anti-nap, man, I love Blitzball so much. I went everybody to hire people. Oh, such a good game. What a brilliant game.
It's been nearly a day already.
It's probably one of the best side games that Final Fantasy has ever done.
Oh my god, 100%. For me, absolutely. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't played all of the Final Fantasies, so there might be one that someone could,
Who cares whether he comes back or
Who
not?
cares when he comes back?
But he might die.
But his abs, son. His abs.
Fine, let him.
Well, I don't care about his abs. I want to replace this.
I don't care.
You hate him so
Do you hate his abs so much?
More of a legs guy.
They're lumpy and smooth at the same time. If he dies, his abs will never come back. I love that, by the way. If he dies, you'll never be able to tell him how much you hate him. That might be like a jestful thing for some people. That's a real sentiment. That is something people could latch onto. It's like, I need to tell him I hate him.
But he's hot.
But he's hot. Oh yeah, let's give you the luckiest son in the world medal. Jet's your dad? Oh yeah, let's give you the luckiest son in the world medal. Nice. I hope that's where you were going, Tocho.
Oh yeah.
If you're like me and Steven, that's exactly where you were going, but you could have been going somewhere more intellectual.
Is something wrong?
It's hot. Nice.
The summoner hasn't returned from the trial.
Eh?
Well,
I am clandestine. I agree with you, but I want you to point two things out that make no sense. Choose two things that make no sense. Any of the...
If the prayer is heard, the apprentice becomes a fully fledged summoner. Remember?
So
Now
so
we get
someone is
to
in
enjoy
there
the
somewhere,
fun
and they
thing of
haven't come
Final
back out.
Fantasy
Right, I got
X,
it.
which is
day's
putting
already
balls
gone
into
by.
holes.
Is it particularly dangerous in there?
This is riveting
Sometimes,
gameplay.
yes.
right.
Why don't you go in and help?
Yeah,
There's already
Allie,
guardians
Allie
in
was
there.
playing this game and she
Besides,
liked
it's
it.
forbidden.
And I wasn't the best
Hey, but what if something happens? What if the summoner
armchair
dies?
player or husband in this one, because whenever there was a puzzle or
Like I
something,
care.
or there was a boss that was hard and you couldn't just like button mash to beat him, she'd be like, you do it. I'm like, honey, that's part of this game. Like,
Maybe
you got to figure out like the
wasn't such a
strategy,
good idea
like figure out where the
after
block
all.
goes. She's like, yeah, that's not for me. And I was like, well, maybe you don't like this game then, huh? You got all like defensive. Well, I guess I will be moving the cloisters then. Fine. All right. Now, let's see. Well, if you look at it from the
I
outside,
gotta remember this music.
it's like this music, by the way, is strangely similar to the a Sega Genesis Mickey game where you had to put
Really?
a clock together. Yeah, I went back and looked. It's pretty close. Well, if you look at it from the outside, it's like a little hut, but on the inside it has a giant cloister. Now and the first time I played this, I was a kid. I just ran from everything, and so I got like a quarter of the way through the game. I couldn't progress. Yeah, I had trouble too. Well, and there's a lot of parts where you have to like take a nap or something to push the game forward. And as a kid, I didn't. It took me a while to realize, just do things you haven't done to prompt it. I'd be like, no time for a nap. I gotta figure this shit out. You're like, oh. Backseat gaming strongly encouraged right now. Yeah, the round columns. They are not bearing weight.
Anxiety incandescent. Touch it.
You must use this. Hi! You must use the stair to go any further! Who are you? I'm the ghost of cloisters! What?
Cloisters pass.
Glyph spheres open the way to the chamber of the faith. Touch it. Like maybe I just wanna just cut that one.
That's fair.
Crop that one. I am clandestine says touch it. Oh, glyph spheres open the can I Oh, okay.
Because
Oh, it's giving me.
there's no basements in Louisiana.
Oh, really? Cool.
I'm kind of in agreement there.
Cool. Yeah.
Those are based off the actual script. There you go. That's cool. And by the way, Tocho, to a former point that you were making about messaging a professor, do it. I am in support because I've had a lot of that when I was talking about like the stuff I wanted to write about and getting a lot of flack for wanting to talk about parasocial relationships.
Am I able
But
to grab
that's
the
just
sphere
me.
out of the out of the wall or out of the door? I thought I tried to. No.
Can you?
Oh, I can. Oh, okay, I just didn't get to it in the right spot. There we go. I love it. You see a glyph sphere hole in the wall. Do you want to put the glyph sphere in there? No, I don't.
That seems like that would be counterproductive.
Right. Its
Wow,
shapes are
that's really
loosely
cool.
based on the real-world incident script, archaic written.
Kidding.
Remove destruction sphere.
Waka's racist faced.
Yeah. Bong. Backseat gaming.
Matching tattoos with it? That's unacceptable.
Who's not?
I'll get a matching Final Fantasy X tattoo.
I just gotta think of what I would want.
No.
Do you know what you would want already?
Final Fantasy X? No, not off the top of my head.
I can't remember. Was there something up here?
Oh, we were getting blitz balls. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right. I could definitely get a blitz ball. Guess that didn't do anything. Was there one up here? No.
Like,
Alright.
The ones that are labeled after the city are like
This didn't do
the
anything, did
ending
it?
part of the puzzle, if memory serves correctly. Oh, it's the destruction sphere.
Do you think that did something? I already did that one. Oh, wait. I see, because I have that one I can do. Nope, I don't think so.
Where you had the destruction sphere. Maybe you need to take the Besaid sphere and put it there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Destruction sphere goes in the webbed line room.
Oh, really? I thought I got it from there. Okay, let's try that. Nice.
There we go.
Well done.
I was thinking destruction sphere when I was first playing this game. It was just like it would blow up where I was at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, here we go, place it, boom.
Just in case I need it.
Destruction sphere. Okay. And it's been a while.
Yeah. But it makes sense.
Well, I love Titus's running animation with the ball.
I know he's like Woody from Toy Story. No, not yet. It's not gonna close that wall, is it? Oh, good. Rod of Wisdom.
Twitch already said that.
What did they say?
They already said that destruction spheres
Oh, yeah.
reveal hidden items, so you didn't need to tell us, game. Just calm down a little bit.
Wait, what did I just do? I don't know if I realized what I just did.
I think you reset something.
Did I? Oh boy, this is where me trying to talk to you and play falls all sorts of apart. Push, push. Push which way? Push in here?
I guess it's the way that it's
That's gonna let. Oh, the little mark in the ground. That makes sense.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey, I was down here the whole time, staring at you
it's okay.
without your permission.
Only summoners, apprentice summoners, and their guardians can enter here. It's a tradition, very important.
So what about you?
Me? I'm a guardian.
Tradition.
A guardian?
We'll probably stream to about 9. I am clandestine. Probably around 9 today.
Whoa, ah!
Summoners go on a pilgrimage to pray at every temple in Spira. Guardians protect
Like
them.
how Waka caught up to you like 30 minutes later after you were doing all that
Guardians in
puzzle.
there
Like,
now.
hey, I finally
One of
found
them's
you, even
got
though
a
there's only
short
3
fuse,
rooms in this
and
entire
who knows
place.
what the others think. Well,
Or hard to
now
find.
we come this far.
Neat.
Might as well go all the way.
We've come this far. Might as well keep on running.
Music of this, especially Hymn of the Faith, is absolutely
What are you doing
fantastic.
here? Didn't think we'd be able to handle it.
No, it's just...
It's so cool. I agree.
See, I told you she gets mad easy.
Here comes Lady Lots of Belts.
Yep.
Fuck much.
Is the summoner all right?
Who are you?
If Titus likes Blitzball and doesn't like dads, Lulu likes belts and doesn't like things that cover her cleavage. That's her list of.
And likes
And
dolls.
loves her some dolls. Lady Lots of Belts. Yeah. We're judging this boy's asymmetrical.
That had to have been.
Oh, cinematic.
Had to have been an interesting design choice for Lulu of like how she wanted to design things for her costume. Yeah, to the rescue now.
She's all sweaty.
I've done it.
I don't know if I remember
Well,
her
see, this
having different color eyes, actually. I don't know how I could have not remembered that. It's so notable
Just
now.
kidding.
She's super
Wow.
sweaty.
While Titus is going, girl,
Man, was I surprised.
girl.
And here I was thinking summoners were all
I like
geezers.
Blitzball and girls. We got it, Titus. We got it, man.
Thanks for clarifying.
Thanks for clarifying. You're new to this land, not life. This reminds me. Did you ever see the skit on SNL where the kid brings in Lion-O and turns his toys to life?
Oh,
No, oh, it's so funny, but it reminds me of him. Let's see. My living room, just talking about these pants. All right. Talk to this guy who's probably gonna say something stupid. La la la. They went out here, right?
Hey,
Yeah.
over here.
What? Ow!
Wait till you see this.
I can't see
it's just stop
anything.
grabbing me by my neck all the time, Waka.
Ready?
Okay.
Okay.
Me?
Here I go. I've got my stick. And I'm gonna move it.
It's time to send some people. Hope Aaron isn't around. Just kidding. Thank you, I am clandestine. Stay away from the summoner.
I think she is
I don't
summoning,
think
yeah.
she's summoning.
There you go. Our first
Or sending
Aeon.
anybody.
Yeah.
Hey.
My name's Bird. Like, oh, I'm gonna rename you. What is this one's name? It's like, oh, its original name. Shoot, it's been too long. Do you remember?
Call it Sammy.
Sammy. Valefor, that's right.
No floor. Thank you.
I do like Sammy though. I summon you.
I had never seen
Leonard.
anything like it in my life. Sure. It
Okay,
was a little
so
scary,
random
but
Final
still,
Fantasy trivia question.
I could feel.
And this
a
is one that I
strange
just
kind of
genuinely don't know.
gentleness coming from
Has
it.
Valefor ever made another appearance as a summon in other Final Fantasy games? And if so, which one?
We're gonna go with Sammy, by the way. We're gonna take Megs.
I don't remember Valefor in any other Final Fantasy games personally, but
Oops.
I could be wrong.
Does Valefor come from another one? Like I know like a lot of the Aeons come from previous ones. I think Valefor might be.
That's what I'm saying. Like Shiva comes in this game, and you can get Shiva. I said Quetzalcoatl comes in this, and maybe not this one, but is in a lot of them. Ifrit is in a lot of them. Bahamut is like in all of them.
The Bugs were in I think the very first one. The Bug Sisters, whatever their names were.
The sisters.
I forgot their name. They look like
The
Ladybug
Magus sisters.
and. Yeah.
Like the Magus sisters.
Yeah. Sammy.
I'm saying the way I've been saying magic. The Magic sisters.
Magic. Usually a dragon-like monster in other titles. Usually only ones where Yuna
Oh,
makes
Ixion.
it.
I don't remember Ixion being in another one. Yojimbo. Although I like Yojimbo.
Yojimbo is one of my favorites. I love the idea of like paying, an assassin, like a shogun assassin to kill somebody for you.
That night, we talked for the first time.
So, fun fact.
I didn't know it then, but after that night,
is there is an
everything
algorithm
changed.
for what
For
attack
everyone.
he'll use based on the previous amounts that you've paid him.
Yeah, I remember that from the walkthrough.
It's in depth. I mean, I couldn't
Let me
believe
introduce
like
you to the team.
the amount
This
of
guy
math
here
that went
wants
into
into
it.
the tournament so bad, I let him on the team. His memory's a little fuzzy, so don't mind him if he says anything odd. Come on, say hi.
Okay, that's in no way possible, but seems to be pretty good at blitzball.
Hi, guys.
The Magus
So
is Cindy,
what's our
Sandy, and
goal?
Minnie. That's right.
To do our best! Nope, we got a new goal now. Our new goal is victory! To win every match.
Maybe like
defeat
don't
every
steal the
opposing
thunder.
team,
Like to do our best.
bring the Crystal
Nope.
Cup back to our island.
Wrong.
That's all we need to do to win. Easy, huh?
To make friends, to have fun.
Right. It's kind of sounding like a joke there.
Rabble, rabble.
Very excited about getting that win. So like if you've got a guy coming into a place that's really not known for magic, right? Like doesn't really know, and then is seeing an Aeon for the first time in their life, seeing this like bioluminescent sparkling coming out of a wand to bring said massive creature. How does one handle developing that belief when that occurs? I mean, it's a pretty.
You mean of someone that doesn't have any relationship with Machina or magic is just seeing this for the first time?
Well, it's sort of like, like basically what your chapter, what I got out of your chapter is the idea that we all are constantly constructing, deconstructing, and reconstructing beliefs at all times. And that those are largely determined by new experiences we get, new information we get, and they're constantly being deconstructed, reconstructed. I'm sort of imagining from this standpoint of the fact that they believe in Yevon is given data every day through this magic, these aeons, these unexplainable forces to back this certainty without proof every day. Titus is coming in here. He's never had any of that, right? He doesn't know magic, right? As far as we know, he knows maybe a little bit relative to our own world, but he doesn't know a lot of magic. Someone coming in and seeing all of that, what would it do to their system as it relates to deconstructing and reconstructing beliefs? Would they be thrusted into this thing where they're like, man, I'm not going to reach consonance for a while because my mind is blown and I don't know what I know? Like how would it?
That's just it. I think there has to be some level of homeostasis that comes into place that you'd have to reach in order to develop that belief, because I mean, seeing Valefor for the first time flying around, someone, doing magic up in the air and all this kind of stuff, it'd just be like, wow, I'm just in shock this entire time.
Right.
Staying away from the summoner.
It was really
Well,
my
I
fault
sort of think
to
about it
begin
like with children, right? Children up until like 9 to 12,
Thank you
are
so
just,
much for
they're
your help
like,
earlier.
oh, okay. Like they'll just believe whatever, right?
sorry about that.
Until 9 or 12, and they develop what
wasn't I
Piaget
not
called
supposed to-
formal operation,
Guess
where they can think a
kinda
little bit more
overreacted.
abstractly, conceptually.
no.
But I sort of
I
think
was
about, although Titus is, what, 16 or something like that? He's come, something like that. He's
I
coming
saw
in
that
here,
video thing.
and
That's amazing.
I'm sort of wondering, like, in
you
many
think I
ways,
can
as
become
far
High
as
Summoner?
this world, he's a child, but he has, the cognitive capacity of a man.
Lady Yuna?
That is an arguable point, by the way, that what I just made, that he has the cognitive capacity of a man. There's an that can be argued. I can be argued that he does not.
I think it'd be good to argue
So,
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, he's not stupid. He just says a lot of stupid stuff.
We're going
And
on the
acts
same boat,
stupidly,
aren't we?
and I know no, he's not. He's just a goofball.
can
But I'm just curious. Like, he's obviously a very open-minded guy. But I would be curious in our real life, and I'm sort of
tell me
asking
all
you from the
about
communication side. In real life, if we are just something is thrown at us that is unbelievable, how does that shake our way of developing the beliefs and the existing beliefs we have that we were so sure of? And now it's like, oh my gosh, there's all this data that's coming to me is unbelievable.
If you're getting into the perspective
no
of
ideas.
belief
No
being,
promises there, big guy.
not having this factual
Hey, but what
information
if
that you're
she,
building up and
comes
have
on to
faith
me?
about what that is,
That's not going to
then,
happen.
the actual
get tired, let me
seeing
know. I had a
something
bad
that
name
either
for you.
enforces what you believe or seeing something that either contradicts or moves it in a different direction is, I would think that I would be in awe and would have some extreme dissonance right off the bat because I'm sitting there going,
Ready for bed?
this is not something I'm used to. This is
Good.
not a level of
Sleep tight.
homeostasis. This is incredible and sensational. And I think in a lot of ways, like I said, I would try to do my best to come in with skepticism, mainly because I've been trained as media scholars, and skepticism is kind of my thing now. But being a 16-year-old, seeing this for the first time, I couldn't help but just be in awe of what I see. And so maybe we don't give Titus enough credit that although he sees all this magical stuff, but
Where's
then again,
that
he is in
boat?
a place where he does flips out of
Everyone will
water
find us if it doesn't come
and has
soon.
physics-defined swordplay
You really sure this is okay?
underwater. So maybe there's the suspension of disbelief, but
Would you
I do
take
think there's
me
something
to
to
Xanarkand?
be said for this area of seeing something so outrageously amazing.
You
Couldn't
said you'd
help
go
but
with me.
change things about how you, especially if you see
Oh,
something
hey,
that's
I,
non-sensational.
Right. Let's see. Tocho says the association of
makes sense.
aeons and the no, it did. And the summoning with the Church of Yevon is the primary method of maintaining
Yeah,
power.
so
If
you're
people
coming
find
with
out
me.
that you don't need the Church to summon create faiths, like the people of old Xanarkand, they have a much harder time holding their validity. The short version. You can't even catch a ball. This is an asshole. The shorter version. If the public has access to the summoning knowledge, eventually people will realize that sin is bound to the same principles and be destroyed. For another potentially more terrifying sin to be in. Yeah. One. Come again? What?
You have to speak loudly.
I hate you.
Get him. Eh?
That's the spirit.
What?
You can do it.
I hate you!
There you go, bud.
Dead, okay? Dead. He does look a lot like Chapu. I was surprised too, the first time I saw him. But no matter
What's the deal with Chapu? Is that
he isn't Chapu.
what is the deal with Chapu?
You shouldn't
Okay.
have brought him here in the first place.
Yeah, but he needed our
Do they
help.
ever tie Chapu to anything else? Is there?
Again?
Yeah, but
That's it.
Because I remember they do that like.
Enough, Waka.
It's that I think I'm answering in a delay right now.
Oh.
I can't hear you on my Zoom for whatever, or on
Really?
Discord for whatever reason.
Okay. That's strange. It looks like it's going through in the stream.
So, who's Chapu?
My little brother, Chapu.
I know.
Like you.
He's
I can
dead.
hear you through the broadcast.
He was with the Crusaders when they fought Sin last year. He didn't make it. I first heard on the day of the tournament.
Oh, so that's why.
I became a guardian to fight Sin, yeah?
Revenge then?
That was the idea. I'm more worried about a stupid game now than avenging my brother. Well, after the next tournament, I'll be a guardian full time. I know it kind of looks like I'm using you, but I'm not.
Don't worry. I mean, I owe you a lot.
Yeah.
You really helped me out, you know? What I mean is,
Can you hear me?
thanks, Walker.
Can you hear me, bud?
Stop. You're embarrassing me.
No?
Sin.
Mm-hmm.
No. And I'm only getting
Interesting.
you on the. Oh,
Well, let's see. Yeah. You can hear me? Okay. You can hear both of us. That's good. Can you hear me, buddy?
I think so.
You can hear me?
Yeah, but you're like ridiculously quiet on my end.
I'm ridiculously quiet. Is that any
That's
better?
better. That's much better.
Okay. That was weird. I don't know what that was.
That was weird. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good, bro.
I was going through an explanation and you just didn't say anything. I'm like, oh, did
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
I? No, that's not your fault.
I'm sure I did.
To your question, they don't really go too much into Chapu, other than it's Waka's brother, right?
Well, yeah, Chapu's Walker's brother. He died, and he always looks, in their opinion, exactly like Titus. But in my memory, and someone else said it in stream, I don't remember them looking that much alike. In fact, doesn't Chapu have like red hair and like, well, it's been a while. I can't really remember, but okay, cool. So we got a save point here. I actually don't really remember what.
They don't look anything alike. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Let me look outside. Let me take a little peek of what's about to happen. I do maybe one fight is the battle.
Sleepyhead. Something I want to give you.
Whoa, you giving this to me?
Yeah, use it well.
Have this aqua sword.
That's the sword you gave Chapu.
Well, you never
The
used
sword's
it.
great. Do you have any bubble gum? What?
Where's
Do you
Yuna?
have gum?
We're taking the same boat as Yuna, right?
No.
Why don't we go right here?
Yuna came to this village
Just-
10 years ago. when the last calm
I like
started.
Titus being like a 7-year-old the entire time, like
She's
he's
like
doing
a little
something
sister
brilliant.
to me and Lulu.
Wow,
But
this
she
is
had the
great.
talent. She became an
Can I go
apprentice.
outside and play with it?
Now, today,
You're
she
supposed to
lives
fight
as a
monsters.
summoner.
Cool.
This
I'll go
is
do
our
that.
journey. We should leave together.
Right.
I like the bubble gum.
Yeah, it's like so off. You have any bubble gum?
You really don't need all
No,
that
bro.
luggage.
No.
They're not really my
Yeah.
things. They're gifts for the
You're
town.
going into like Matthew McConaughey.
This
It'd be a
isn't a
lot cooler if
vacation.
you did.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, I wish you
I
had
guess you're
gum. It's like mad at you. I wish you had gum. Gosh. Titus, you should be grateful. I just
Okay,
gave you a
off
sword.
we go.
It's a dumb sword. Well, then give it back. No, I want it. I want to keep it.
It doesn't even have gum. But I still want it.
I still want it. I
I still
didn't-
like the sword.
I didn't say I didn't want it. I said it's stupid. Well, if you're gonna call it stupid, you need to give it back. I don't want to give it back. Titus. Fine. I don't need bubblegum, and I don't need you, and I don't need blitzball. It's like, oh man, this is the guy. This is the guy.
He like doubles back like immediately. Wait,
Here comes one now.
I do need blitzball. Just so we're clear.
Why don't you?
Oh, I
This is
thought.
the guy. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
I thought.
Lulu,
No problem.
Yeah, I thought we had our team at this point.
Not too shabby. You might make a good
Am I
guard.
able to swap them out? Or am I not there yet?
No, I mean, you're always supposed to have 3 at any given point in time, but maybe you just don't have her yet. She's too cool to hang out with y'all.
Yeah, I guess I
Hey, Titus, you can't hit this from a long direction, so I'm gonna throw my balls at it.
I'm gonna hit it with a 5-ounce piece of rubber. You throw it hard enough, it feels like it's 2 pounds.
I have to do the like Family Guy quote. Ouch! Is that blood? Ouch though.
Ouch though. Yeah. Yeah, you didn't see that coming, did you? Now that I threw it at you, you're looking for it, so you're gonna be able to. Yeah.
No, I sure didn't. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Gotta hate you, Dad. I hope you get swallowed by a giant demon whale. Tocho. Indeed.
Careful what you wish for.
Don't hit him with your water sword. Oh, it's not gonna let me change
I
that.
hate you, Dad. I hope you not only get killed by sin, I hope you become
Told
sin.
you. Only magic can
Yeah.
beat that thing. If you
Oh,
can't
you
beat
did.
them,
Oh, okay.
Magic.
let's have our black maid.
Well, I feel
You're up.
foolish.
Clueless, aren't you?
There she
Good
is.
thing I'm here.
The little
you
noodle,
go.
and I helped.
Spells of ice work, and ice fiends are weak, you thought.
I get fire and ice.
Lightning and water are opposed. This one here is a
All right, girl. This one, oh, I didn't. It's thunder, right? This is water one, right? It's not ice,
I
right?
believe so, yeah. She has a Moogle.
She does. Oh yeah, the teddy bear. It's called a Moogle in these games, and you have varying types, and they're adorable. And they give her like different buffs and things like that. You choose them based upon like buffs, voodoo dolls.
Cactar.
Cactar and his 10,000 needles. 10,000 magic
People in Dreams Theater
needles.
don't know what sin is, yeah. Very true.
So wait, you have a magical stuffed animal in this game? Megan's like
You
running
surely
to go
do.
buy it. Oh, it's not on sale anymore though. Darn, it was on sale for a bit there. Yes.
Let's
So
get going,
your
man.
magic comes from the power of imagination. I'm gonna go with yes. Imagination.
You ready?
Imagination. Imagination. No. It's inflection on the second part. Cadence on the third.
What's
Right.
going on?
Imagination.
Dun dun dun. Oh, actually didn't want to talk to you, but
It's an ancient custom. People leave
yeah,
Magical
me
stuff
too.
here.
The evaluation is solid.
Didn't pray that day. Said he'd miss his boat.
Imagination, not imagination. You know what? I'm gonna pray. Let's get respectful here. Do my little blitz ball.
That should do it.
That should do it. I got on my knees. I thought about Ariel and her daddy, and that is just fine.
Meanwhile, it's like I thought about her daddy and Titus. Ah!
Ah! Not your dad, man. Not my dad was.
Oh my God.
You just say anything with dad in it. You're like, yeah, actually, it's a great friend. They actually were born from Baghdad. No, it's Baghdad time. It's not a. No, I'm not talking about dads. Yeah.
I hate my dad. Wait, no.
Right, yeah. No, it's you gotta go. It's at the end. You gotta go farther. Ah! I said farther, not father. You need to. This is a real sensitive trigger you have here, pal. I'm not trying to be dismissive, but you need to kind of grow up.
That is a fair point. Why is Waka the only person who was saying with an accent? Did Chapu have an accent? Did you get any dialogue from him?
Why have I never questioned that? Why have I never questioned that? I am clandestine.
The blitzball team.
Why he really is the only. Him and the blitzball team. Oh, the blitzball team also have that accent?
It's probably not even his real accent.
Wait, so the blitzball team also talks that way? Right,
They don't say like victory. They're like victory.
Right,
Hooray! Go team.
Go team, hooray.
We're gonna win.
Oh, here he comes. I was about to say, I think we meet Calamari here. Quick, use your spell, marinara sauce. Yeah, you're delicious. Rawr! Rawr! Rawr!
Banzo Calamari.
But none of the other guys, you know, Lou, stay away from the summer. Alright, Calamari.
Right.
I'm gonna use marinara. Not an option. Alright, I guess I'm just gonna hit you with my sword to the face. To the face!
As one person I don't use that much is Mari.
I used Mari. I think I got him like a dope move and just used him repeatedly for that, if I recall. Like one dope move that he had quick axe. Oh! I used him for ultimate. I think, or ultimate.
Oh, okay.
Ulta?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
I used him. I just tracked his way there, so he had that dope move. That's all I ever did with him.
This is what you're good for.
That might. Gosh, that might have been it. Is
I
there
don't
one
remember
with?
it being Supernova for me, at least.
Is there something like Ulta or Ultra Super? There wasn't there like a? Can someone look that up? Because that's gonna drive me crazy. It could be Supernova. I thought it was something with Ultra or Ulta in it or something. Ulta is a makeup store. Ultima. But I think Ultima.
The
maybe
Ultima
he
weapons.
had like the quickest track to it or something like that. Yeah, no, not Supernova. I did use him for Supernova, but I had him for Ultima. So maybe he was my dark
If I
magic
had
guy.
the option for Supernovas, yeah.
He might have been my dark magic guy. What's my life situation? 235.
Not a dark magic, Runzo.
Also, the makeup store. I am clandestine. I choose Smoky Eye. Take this. Thick smoldering mascara. It is not effective. Ah!
Now it's in your eye. It's minorly inconvenient. Ah, God.
Ah, nuts.
Gosh. I'm sweating too. Now it's even worse.
Yeah.
Ah, got you.
Tocho, if I'm gonna be real honest, great to use supporter of White Wind Mighty Guard because overshot by Riku. And yeah. If I'm being honest, I want to say it was a recommendation from the walkthrough. I was talking to Steven earlier. I would play these games, and then when I beat them, I would go save up money and buy the walkthroughs, the big thick ones. And where basically it's digital Legos. You just like, all right, so what do I do now? I put that there, okay, and then I choose this, okay. And I want to say it was like a little, if my memory serves me correctly, it was a little thing where it's like, this is a good idea. That's a pretty dope move. The first time I played, I didn't realize you had to activate the pass with spheres. Oh, God bless you. You level 1. There's someone else I think maybe was there as well.
Oh no.
Kamari's like,
What's with that guy?
Kimari
I'm mad.
Ronso of the Ronso tribe.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
learned the fiend's way of fighting.
That's not what I meant.
Saturday morning Nintendo Cheats and Tips show. It rings a bell.
Sometimes we don't understand him either.
Rings a bell maybe.
Kamari
I use
doesn't
Tips
talk
and
much
Tricks
anyway.
and Nintendo Gamer.
He has protected me since I was a
I
child.
don't know, maybe. I don't know about Nintendo Cheats and Tips show actually. What was it in the before times? What years are we talking here, Megs? Yeah, that's a good question, Clandestine.
You know, Kimari was a guardian when he was in the temple. Look, it's well established that Titus is not exactly the most observant. Hey, I saw that guy I don't know if he's any way connected, even though he was holding Yuna in her arms as she collapsed to the ground.
Right.
But he might be important.
Waka comes up to him. Hey, man. Titus throws out. Ah, who are you? We literally just had the thing where we victory. Remember victory. Ah! What words are you saying? It's the same language you're speaking. Ah! Oh man, he hit his head way harder.
It's the first time we met in Bad Day. Ah!
Yeah. Just constantly scared of everything.
It's like Hinata from Haiku, the girl that feels like she's gonna get killed by everything.
Oh, Kaiju asks, when's the Dreamcast marathon stream? Oh boy, I'm gonna give you a hard never, because I don't want to have to go through. if imagine the AV issues that I have already, and then having to find one of the weirdestly circuited consoles of all time, like not optimized. I loved it. Don't get me wrong. Had Berserk on there. It was like my favorite anime. Power Stone was amazing.
Titus is himbo.
Yeah. Oh wait, can I go up this? I think I. Oh no.
Power Stone, yeah. Oh,
Power
you can.
Stone.
That's one of those coordinate ones.
Yeah, that's right. That's cool, Megan. I'm not sure I remember that. I didn't watch a ton of TV, to be honest, except for what I probably would have. Oh, I think I can summon this round. No.
Like, Dreamcast one would be a Slow Daddy-O special.
That would be Slow Daddy-O might hop on that one.
Why don't we let our summoner show us what she's made of?
If only they would port all the Jet Set radio games to the Switch. That'd be pretty dope.
Oh man, that would be cool.
Come on out, Yuna. Yeah, I was thinking I might be able to. Let's get a little summon on.
Your first real battle.
Stay away from the summoner!
Yeah. Extreme paper rock scissors. Yeah.
It's like, where did this lady come from? God.
Summon Sammy! Rise, Sammy, from the heights and the heavens.
Summon Juju Bean!
I remember my brother being like, hey man, you know you can turn off the Aeon summon animations, right? And I was like, yeah. I was like, why? You're like 200 hours in, why are you still summoning? It's like, why are you a terrible person? I will leave them on. Good day! You know.
It's worse like in
I
Final
remember Video
Fantasy
Power.
8.
What's that?
It's funny, like with Final Fantasy 8, when you've got a countdown clock, it's like, this is the 17th time I've seen Quetzalcoatl's animation, and it's taking literally 30 seconds. I don't care.
Megan, that's interesting you said, because I now that you say Video Power, was it like a segment of another show or something where it like was a part of another show or something? It rings a bell. Yes. I'm debating looking to do something that's not cool but similar. What did I miss? Tonight's nightcap is going to be Nutella hot chocolate with amaretto. Oh wow, that sounds amazing.
Silent Clan does it nice.
Yeah, I'm with you, Tojo. Sonic Wings, doesn't Sonic Wings like blast him back? Yeah, cool. Cool. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but it only works so many times. Yeah. It'll delay later. This guy probably Thunder, right? Can
Usually
I check?
Thunder and flying enemies.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have a like assess.
I was looking for that. Yeah. I don't see it.
May not have it yet.
Let's go ahead and boost.
While playing Final Fantasy VII, the remake, I'm like, just equip the materia into your sword, and then you can assess.
Yeah. Or I'm thinking of World of Final Fantasy. Just stack another Moogle on your shoulders, and you'll be able to assess, which probably makes no sense to you. But in the end, you have like a bunch of things stacked on each other, and you share each other's powers. It's a very silly but fun system.
So silly.
So sillers. I just want to see. Oh wait, it's got a little. Dodging its attack is easy. Well, alright. I don't have dark, do I? I don't have dark.
Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.
It is dangerous. I couldn't remember. It wanted to be like one of those office moments in Kit Kat bars.
Right.
Pick me up a piece of that.
That's a thing. Something that you can track delay by the faint graph in the middle of the target's icon. I always looked at it from the right on the thing. There's a thing by the target's icon? I'll have to look at that, okay. I didn't see that do anything to it.
Sonic Boom.
Sonic! Sonic Boom! Yeah. You derp.
Oh, wait. Good job, Ryan.
Thank you. Is there a, trying to think of the closest. I'm gonna keep going. We'll go look because I think there is a save sphere
Going, girl.
up here, somewhat close. I'll do this one real fast, girl.
Fast.
Another one of those. No problem. Leave this one to me, huh? Say good night.
Now he does have darkness, so we'll use darkness though. There's a colored portion in the attack order bar. Okay. With the Aeon there was? I'll have to look at that with the Aeon again. Appreciate it. I'll keep an eye on that. I definitely see what in the...
my old friend. Alright.
No, you're good. I'm pretty sure thunder is the way to go. Oh no! Yeah, good dodge. Take off your high heels for God's sakes. It's a little stinky.
Stinkwinker.
I'm gonna, you know what? Just why not? Hey, that was a nice hit, you know. Did a really good job, Lulu. Don't let her do that again. She's gonna break her staff. Walk, you better. Yuna doesn't wear high heels. She's got them combat boots. She does? Boy, they look like they got heels from here. I'm gonna have to give a better eye next time. Good looking out. Thunder. Who knows what Yuna's wearing, or Lulu's wearing?
Like Aerith. Aerith has got combat boots.
Still couldn't see. Yeah, Aerith definitely does. Tifa does. I think has more life than I remember. A bit of a heel, but then no more than the average cowboy boot. Well, I do view in my most Southerners would hate that I say this. I basically view cowboy boots as high heels because they have high heels. But my father-in-law would strongly argue with that point. He would not be a happy man. Boy, they have a lot more life than I remember. Maybe I should have summoned something.
This thing.
I am, yeah. Oh, it's not Blizzard. Actually, I am curious to see what Blizzard does with the discrepancy.
Damage 750. It is finally dead.
I think there's a lot more health than I thought. Yeah,
So
understandable.
Ooh, ouch.
These will be fast. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. Now everybody's getting murdered. Bonk. Has a typo in the bestiary that says Veil 4 absorbs lighting. Interesting.
Huh. Hi, Megan. Thanks for stopping by.
See you, Megs. She, in fact, does not, and I blame the publisher because you're dying a boss fight for trying to self-cast Thundaga to the heel. Oh my god, that does ring a bell. Wait. Are you sure it doesn't work?
Oh.
Even in the old one, like even the original, it did not work? Because that does ring a bell to me too. I feel like I remember zapping. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking, you're right, thank you. I'm thinking Ixion, yep.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Lightning
right.
horse.
Here, bird, take lightning.
Read in this one?
Ow. Alright, I'm pretty sure there is. Oh, there's not a save thing.
Yeah. Ifrit is in like all of them.
Do you know what I'm gonna name Ifrit when I get to choose his name?
What are you gonna name him?
Ifrit. Is that a debatable one as well? Ifrit versus Ifrit?
I don't know. And the place I got a little bit of that was first time I heard it pronounced was in True Blood. Someone was like, "It's an Ifrit," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Interesting.
I could be totally wrong. I
It
have no
is.
idea.
It
That's
is
just how
spelled. It is spelled that way. I am clandestine. Exactly.
Now I'm like looking at it like. Real
No,
close.
she's being silly. She's being a silly bear.
Shit.
Did I save? I did, right? Okay.
I don't know.
Jeff, pretty sure I saved everyone. Well, maybe we'll call it there for the night. I probably will continue to play this game, actually. Not tonight, but another time. But Steven, thank you so much for stopping by, man, and sharing your chapter with us. A lot of good authors. Again, Psychology of Final Fantasy book. It'll be out in August sometime, right? August something?
I believe so.
Yeah.
End
Into
of August.
August. Great book, great authors. I'll be having more on, but Steven, thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a lot of fun, and can't wait for the next one to whoever you're going to do that with to watch that.
Absolutely. Great. And don't you ever make me wait as long as you made me wait to play this game again, ever. Do you understand? You understand?
I'm glad that was my fault.
It was! You and Jet and Abs! Oh, God.
My dad?
I don't want to go any farther with this. Father! Oh! Oh, God. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We're going to call it a night for the night. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Wandering, as always, for the great mod. And we're really with this. We had a lot of fun. We're really looking forward to the next one. I'm not sure who I have next, but we'll keep you informed, and it'll be usually weekends. But anyway, thanks everyone. Have a great night.
Good night, everybody.
Off to Platinum Last of Us and drink hot chocolate.